Boom. Today is Tuesday, March 14th of 2023. It is Jose JG's birthday's eve festivities. Birthday's eve. Tomorrow is JG's birthday. I like counting the days down. So, we are live. We will be in the Discord server daily. Boom. Hit the like, open your wallets, and give me money. PayPal, Super Chat. Let's join the festivities. Let's do it.
Our number one troll, guys. Jose is in the house. Everyone, welcome Jose, our number one troll. Troll responsibly. You know it, man. Only Jose does it well.
I'm still stuck on that thing about Jose JG Gonzalez being a wanker.
Now that's not trolling, Jose.
But Jose, you seem to be talking through me a lot.
So this is about the character, Jose. This is not about the argument.
That's my problem with Jose, is that he's saying just straight up BS. He's just trolling.
Yeah, he does seem to be trolling, I agree.
It's crazy. It's crazy trolling.
He's not playing the neutral place. I mean, I'm more neutral than Jose's, put it that way.
Jose, you in a mood today, bro?
You know what, Jose? I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know about Jose.
I've got to be honest, Jose. Of the two resident globe heads, you are my favourite.
Jose, is responsible trolling okay? I don't know what you mean by this responsible trolling. Oh.
No one's got time for that. So, responsible trolling is okay. All right. Bro.
I kissed a guy.
Nordic Moyles are, and Nordic Moyles, okay?
You notice this angle now gets wider. It's much wider. Wider here. But look what happened here. Frame.
A sextant and a map. And you want to take this one off first. Make sure that valve is good and tight. It could get a little bit of spitfire. Terrestrial refraction. But that's about it.
Here on the
Daily Boom,
in a metal retardation center costing
PayPal and Super Chat
will be built is to identify all of the causes of mental retardation and to develop more effective techniques of treatment and rehabilitation. The ability to prevent mental retardation is our ultimate goal. To reach this point,
YouTube, Discord, participants,
and the federal government have all come a long, long way.
Now, many of these
flat earthers
so severely retarded that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to take care of them at home. So all we can offer them is good care and sympathetic understanding. But there are other
flat earther
in these institutions who really need not be there. Those are the ones that are classed as trainable or educable, and you'll hear more about them later.
Are we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously, Gravity, La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open. La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity, obviously. La La Land, La La Land. Land. La La Land. We are in La La Land. Gravity, gravity, gravity. Obviously.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Hello, folks. This is Barack Obama. You are watching The Daily Boom with my man, Jose JG. Boom.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Florida to the YouTube universe. This is Jose JG Boom. Thank you very much for being here in this Tuesday, March 14, 2023. Forgot what I was going to say. Thank you for being here. Big shout outs to the Bendy Level. Shout out to the JG Clock. Shout out to the Squeaky Moon. Shout out to the temperature. I feel it's chilly over here today. It is about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That makes it about 18 degrees Celsius for those who doesn't use real numbers and real math. It is in the chilly side. I got a sweatshirt. I got the hoodie on. I feel it I feel it in my core, in the core. It's not the core of the body. It doesn't like attract mass, you know. The hunger attracts mass that goes through my mouth and stuck in my belly. That's the mass, the core of the body. Shout out to the frog, the squeaky earth. Mabbit, 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 mabbit. Wee wee, wee wee, wee wee. And shout out to the squeaky earth, Papa Frog. Mabbit, mabbit. Mama Frog. Mabbit, mabbit. And Baby Frog. Mabbit, mabbit. Thank you very much for coming in. Here we go. Squeak it. How you like me now? I like it very much. Hey, thank you, Baby Frog. I will be opening the Discord server, YouTube Live, in a minute. First, we need to do the shout out to Citizen9 and Martin. Also, Zep Tepi. How about Marcus Dresden? And Charlie Welsh. What about Igor Grujic? And Leo. Thank you very much for being here. There you go. YouTube Live, Discord server. It's open for business. You find the link in the description box. You can hit the like button under this video if you're watching this live or recorded. And there's a PayPal link pinned in the YouTube chat box where everybody can support. Send your regards, question, comment, concerns. And also, there's a super chat if you want to do super chat. All right. Let's see if Leo is here. Yes, he is with a $2 super chat. Don't forget the almighty super chat frog. Rabbit, rabbit. Thank you very much, Leo. Hey, shout out for that $2. How you doing, bro?
Shout out. Let me mute the TV.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
What the hell? Why are you watching Fox News?
Because you're like the star.
Fuck.
You know, everyone on Fox News has a bendy level also.
Really? Do you watch? Do you watch YouTube on TV sometimes?
I watch a lot of YouTube.
On TV?
Well, I mean, my two computer monitors are TVs, so yes.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. Shout
I'm
out
watching
to
this.
big important shout out to John Hansen. Job Hansen, because I discovered that you can not only be a standard moderator, but a managing moderator. So that John Hansen is a god level for the longest time. John Hansen, you are a real managing moderator now. What's up? Go ahead, man.
I see this really goofy Puerto Rican guy on my screen right now. I don't know who it is. He's has a cigarette in his hand. Or
That
a
is
stogie.
bad. Yeah, it's horrible.
That guy needs to go home.
But he's got a cool hoodie, cool sweatshirt, man.
Oh yeah, he does have a cool sweatshirt on, but he needs to go home.
I need to go home. Okay, I'll kick him out. Get out of here! Cha, cha, cha. There you go. He gone. Chike is in the house. How you doing, Chike?
Hello, Jose. New mic. How does it sound?
We shall see. It sounds okay so far.
Not too loud, not too low.
68 degrees here feels good, Jose.
68 degrees. No, yeah, I don't know. I feel a little colder than it should be.
Oh yeah, 68 feels wonderful when the average temperature during the summer is 107 or thereabout.
Yeah. What microphone you got? Headset?
Hey, it's a new headset.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. I'm just adjusting the volume very quickly over here on my own end. All right, perfect. Perfecto. I open every other day. I open the Facebook app that I have on my phone, and I don't participate. I don't post anything, but I lurk, and I look at the post from my family in Puerto Rican friends, and then I got throughout the years that I've been on Facebook, I have acquired a bunch of different kinds of friends and characters in Facebook. One of those is called Nathan Thompson. You guys heard that name before?
No, who's that?
Chai, you want to tell Leah who that is?
Chikey doesn't know either.
You don't know who that is, Chai? Oh, what is that, Leah?
That's a spider bite that I had a long time ago.
Oh, it looked like two very diseased assholes, like two diseased assholes.
When I showed a friend, he said, "Oh, that's just pimple," so I popped it and it turned into that.
Shout out to your Pick 7 organizer. So Nathan Thompson, yeah. And then today, he actually posted something new. And I want to share that with everybody over here. So let me share my screen.
Where's the authority? Where's Farmer's Boy?
Hopefully we get more people joining in, and hopefully they'll feel excited to come in and talk, because he got a bunch of points. I didn't even read them all. I just read a handful of them, and I want to react and see them in real time. That's what I would like to do. I got my screen up. This is a screenshot from my phone, and Nathan Thompson posted 2 days ago. It's 2023, and globe lovers still can't explain. And then he's got a long list down here of things that globe lovers can't explain.
I would like to address the first point. Why?
No, hold on, no, not yet, not yet.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
just the statement, just the first statement. Is 2023 and globe lovers still can't explain. What do you think? What does he mean by globe lovers?
Maybe he's talking about the Harlem Globetrotters.
Mm.
But I don't see why they can't explain basketball. They're pretty good at it.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Matt M2M, also join M2M. Who is Nathan Thompson? You want to tell us, the audience?
Nathan Thompson is a prominent flat earther who targets children.
Ouch.
To educate them into flat Earth.
So you're saying he's a pedophile?
No,
no, not saying that. Not saying
Easy there.
Not saying that.
You did say target children, and if
targets children into flat Earth is what I said, and I'm not suggesting anything else whatsoever of any description. I'm not accusing of being a pedophile.
We'll stop there.
Okay, yeah, targets children, not sexually. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, that's all right.
We don't
So
want to get demonetized. We gotta quit talking about that.
yeah. So now, how you like being called a globe lover? Guys?
I don't have.
I guess.
Sorry, go ahead, Chike.
I guess globe lover would be anyone who's not a globe hater like Nathan.
Ooh.
To me, that's a bit like saying oxygen lover. You know,
right? Yeah.
It's it's obsolete. It doesn't really matter.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know.
What I have to say is, don't hate the play, hate the game.
Yeah. Or human lover, human lover. Yes, I am. I love humans.
Junk food lover. Yes, I am.
All right, we got a few points that he said that in 2023 we can't explain, and the first point is why we see too far. I mean, if I want to be pedantic, English not being my first language, and still reading this statement and saying this is so grammatically wrong,
we don't see the whole. We don't see the whole point.
No, that's a different point. That's the first point. There's another point.
No, I don't think so. If you scroll, we will know for sure. If
that's another point. That's another point. Yeah.
Oh, no, scroll.
No, because then we're gonna be caught up with the second point.
No, because there is no dash in front of the second line.
Yes, there is. I don't want to show it because he's gonna take out. Believe me, the second line is a second point. The dash is below. Calm down, Chike. Easy. This is the first point. That's it. Yeah.
Can I comment on that first point?
Yeah.
No flat earther, including any flat earther in this chat, has ever been able to answer. Give me a specific distance of how far too far is.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to say that too far than what? Yeah.
It's just an indefinite statement. Like, how far is too far? We see the sun, that's 3,000 miles, but yet I can stand on the tallest tower in New York City and not see London, which is the same distance.
Yeah, we can play it backwards. Like, what was the wolf in Red Hoodie, right? Well, why do we see too far? Because I have eyes, big eyes.
I mean, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of like a double negative, isn't it? See too far. So what he's saying is there's obviously a limit as how far we can actually see, which is fair enough. But what is that limit? And if we're saying it's too far, then that is how far we can actually see. Does it? It just makes no sense.
That was my whole point. On the flat Earth model, the sun is way closer than 93 million miles. And they, by the way, flat earthers now won't give you a distance to how far the sun is. But if we can see that distance and see the sun, why can I not stand on top of the New York City highest tower and see London? Isn't the sun either a lot further away or just as close?
Great point, yeah.
Yeah, I should be able to see the Eiffel Tower from where I am because there's nothing else obstructing it. If I got up to, say, Blackpool Tower, I should be able to see the Eiffel Tower, but I can't.
Right.
Well, we wouldn't be able to see them, but if the sun set behind them or rose behind them,
Yeah.
we should be able to see the silhouette.
True.
All right, we got a bunch of points. Let's go to the next and see. Chai, let's see how right we were that the next one is. There you go. That's a second point. Why the stars twinkle?
Oh, that's easy. Everybody
My
knows.
question is, what does that have to do with the shape of the Earth?
It's things that the Globers can't explain. They say we cannot explain that.
My 12-year-old son could explain why the stars twinkle.
I can't.
Yeah,
honestly
he's
do it,
right
but
next
I've
to
never
me.
thought about
He just shouted out, Ben. What? Ben, he's 12 years of age. Why do stars twinkle? Because they're bright. Yeah, but why do they twinkle? Why do they kind of like do that twinkly sort of effect? Is this so? What's it to do with what we're looking through? Maybe he doesn't know.
I posit because the song was written about the stars, and that's why it twinkles. No, I honestly have never thought about why stars twinkle, so I don't really care. But even if they do twinkle, what does that have to do with the shape of the Earth?
It's atmospheric effect. You're looking through the atmosphere. That's what's causing the stars to twinkle.
Oh. Well, guess what? If the Earth were flat and had an atmosphere, they would still twinkle. So the shape of the Earth has no bearing on why stars twinkle.
Yeah, exactly. It's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, but he's asking why the stars twinkle. We can explain that. Anybody can explain that. Most people can explain that.
I'm not a globe lover. That's maybe why I cannot explain it.
What are you then?
It's just effects of the atmosphere. That's all it is. It's making it twinkle.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
I'm just an earther. I'm an earther.
You're an earther?
I'm not a globe lover. Yeah, I'm an
You eat
earther.
You eat the Earth?
Yes. There's a few alternate explanations. Waters above, says Mojok Man. The stars simply have a dodgy connection, says Citizen 9. Shout out to Turingstein 2 and everybody else in the house.
What does this dodgy connection mean?
That it comes on and off. Like when you're roboting on Discord, the connection is not too strong. So that's like the stars are roboting. That's why we don't see a strong brightness constant, and we see breaking up. Like that's the twinkle.
That sounds more plausible than
that water's above.
Like the internet. What do you think, Matt?
Doji connection is made by Doge.
That Lubo got a great follow-up point. All right, let's see the next point. What do we have over here? How can you have gas pressure next to vacuum without a container? Globers can't explain that, says Thompson.
That's weird because if I grab a household vacuum, I can suck gas into it, and there's nothing around the gas containing the gas until it's contained in the vacuum.
I mean, the simple answer to it is that there is no pressure against a vacuum around the Earth. There isn't.
As far as I'm aware, he was probably explained, at least those first three questions, it was explained like many times. What's the explanation for it? He just choose not to accept this explanation. Says, no, you can't explain it.
I can give an example when it was explained 1,000 times on a live stream.
This is so easy because he isn't even asking to provide evidence or citation about these facts. He say that just can't be explained. And yes, it can be explained. It have been explained thousands of times. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. It's there is no pressure against a vacuum around the Earth. There just isn't.
Your pick 7 organizer makes a good point. No one wants to know what I want to do with a vacuum.
The actual question is how many times has he been told the answer? That's the actual.
The better question is how many times has he heard the answer but not actually listened to the answer to try to understand it?
Yeah, that's right. How many times have he been told somebody told him the answer?
Oh,
Gave
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
And why do we need to explain all these things? As gas pressure goes, we know we don't have gas pressure next to a vacuum without the container. We know we have a pressure gradient, and that's all we need to know. We don't need to have to know why we have it. We know we have it, and that's how it is. It's not gas pressure, it's a gradient.
Check this answer out. The universe is a container for gas pressure. There you go.
How about that? See, many explanations here. Just today. On the go, without even thinking about it.
But ultimately, we cannot know the true answer because we can't appeal to authority because Farmer's Boy is not here yet.
Do you think the problem is that Nathan doesn't believe any explanation from anyone if they aren't wearing a duck suit?
Sure. By the way, Moyak Man, quit making fun of me, okay? By the way, Moyak Man's here.
Shout out to Moyak Man. Let's go to the next point. Maybe he wants to jump in on this one. Next point. Hilarious. NASA bloopers, wires, green screen, etc.
Never been proven.
Man.
I want to know what the etc. is.
Doesn't matter. Never been proven.
The green screen is CGI.
Yeah, wires are made of a very hard. Wires are a very hard material, metals, aluminums, and all kinds of shit. And then green screen is what you use to do CGI stuff. And then etc. could be a plant, a flower, a drink cup. Could be a cigarette, whatever etc. you want to put in there. Is that fair?
Water pool.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a throwback to the prior thing about gas pressure. If you do not believe in particles or atoms, how can there be gas pressure at all in any type of container or non-container? Because don't flat earthers reject particles and all that? Well, particularly Nathan Thompson. I shouldn't say flat earthers. Nathan Thompson. Doesn't he reject atoms and particles?
I don't know. He's not here. Can't ask him.
I mean, that's not the question, though. We don't need to explain any more than that. Exactly as Chike has already said.
Yeah.
Because what the statement is how can you have gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container? What he's referring to is around the Earth. There is no vacuum next to a container. Next to a pressure, sorry.
I understand that, but from his perspective, if particles and atoms don't exist, how could gas pressure exist at all?
Yeah.
Do you know that it does not believe in particles? Or you're guessing?
I have confidence that he doesn't, but I'm not 100% sure.
Right. So you don't know it. You choose to strawman as always.
Well, it's 2023. Why does Nathan Thompson think he is still relevant? Great point, Citizen 9. We're just entertaining these points, so he can be proven again wrong. all the questions that he have, and all the doubts that he have, and all the misunderstandings that he has have been answered and can be answered in real time by illiterate like me. Thank you very much.
How is not ashamed to even show his face anymore after the duck suits?
He's not showing his face. Look, he's got the head down. The hat is blocking his whole face.
Does he really believe what he's spouting if he has his head down? Shows no confidence in what he's spouting, right?
Right.
But they have short memory, so he probably forgot about that. He just need to be reminded about it.
Yeah, that's what you need to do to remind him.
All right, scrolling down. Okay, this is a two-liner. How astronauts are in zero gravity if the sun's gravity is what holds the Earth in orbit.
You see,
That's a mouthful.
zero gravity is a bit of a misnomer because what makes things orbit is got everything to do with gravity. So there really isn't any such thing as zero gravity, really. You know, you can't really say zero gravity. If you're in the solar system, you're under the influence of gravity from the sun or other objects.
So do you say he's asking this question because of his own education and misunderstanding?
Right.
Miseducation, yeah.
What does it mean by how do they breathe? How do they sleep? What
Just
do you
how?
mean? How astronauts are in zero gravity?
It's a kind of an American way of kind of why is it that astronauts are in. Americans tend to use how rather than why is it. If that makes sense.
Maybe they're asking.
Still don't.
He's asking if astronauts actually exist.
No.
Maybe he wants to become an astronaut.
He could have. He's too old now, I think. I mean, never too late. But he needs to pass. He needs to pass, tests and things, and I don't know. He'd be able to play the game,
I like to point out that each phrasing, each bullet point or whatever is getting more and more stupid. I wonder how stupid the last.
Right. Then it's a long list. It's like
What?
I don't know.
Why go so far to astronauts and not this vomit comet airplane, which is close to Earth, and everything inside it is influenced by Earth gravity?
Well, astronauts are as well, though, Chike.
Everyone is.
Exactly.
Wherever you are in the universe, you're under the influence of gravity.
In some form
more or
or other,
less.
Yeah.
How long till we get some play of words and some words like highlighted as for, like, let's say horizon or something as for means horizontal, How long far away from the points to start
Is
doing
that
that?
baked into the first point?
Huh?
Is that baked into the first point, horizon or level or?
I don't know, man. Let's see. Let's see what he got next. Oh shit! It's right here. Level airplane flight, and the highlighted word is plane. Level airplane flight. There you go.
I wonder if plane manufacturers would start emphasizing the word plane instead of air.
Well, Lel, isn't this supposed to be questions? Isn't this supposed to be questions that he has? So how should I read this? Level airplane flight?
What's there to explain? What's there to explain about level airplane flight? What it exists? So and what?
I think we should investigate into the airplane word origins and see if this plane is what you think it is.
I think we need Bev to help us understand what a Euclidean plane is before we can discuss any further.
Hang on, we're getting a bit off topic here. Aren't you slightly? Let's not go into Euclidean geometry.
Airplane flight.
No,
level
Jose,
airplane. Sorry, go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Do a quick search of airplane, the word airplane, and let's
airplane. Okay.
Is that what he's asking though? Is he trying to define the word airplane? Is that what
well, it is he's pointing. It's a bit ironic that it's called an airplane.
Originally,
no, I don't want definition. I don't want definition.
It's aeroplane, though, isn't it? That's the original word, not airplane. It's aeroplane.
No, we had that here airplane Wikipedia. That would be good, I'm sure.
Airplane is yeah. There you go. The movie. Fly high.
No. Scroll down a bit.
See, he's even using the wrong word.
No, that's a movie airplane.
It's not. It's not. That's why it's not airplane. It's aeroplane.
Oh.
AERO. Aeroplane.
Yeah, airplane. Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Hulu, where you can find it. Where you can buy it. Wow. Very nice. Shout out to Jim Abrahams for directing that movie. I know that he directed The Naked Gun and also Airplane, I think. All right, that's the level airplane flight.
So it's aeroplane, which basically I think it means when the original name word came out, it means that it's planing the air. But they wanted to put it into one word, so it's aeroplane, not airplane.
Oh, Turing test has a great point. I see your airplane and resort with atmosphere. Checkmate, Fleurs. You want to highlight? You want to highlight a part of a word? Well, you got atmosphere, bitches.
Wait, I would like to point out that they have manipulated that into plane.
Yeah, but that's a made-up word by them. That word is fake. Anyway.
Well, I mean, are Pushy-chons really fake, or does Stingray know something we don't?
Made-up word.
I don't know. Stingray's here. He can defend it. He can provide scientific papers on it.
All right. Next question. Fluid statics? Fluid statics?
What about it?
I don't know. That's his question. What about?
Can I just mention something on aeroplane? Aeroplane or aero is it depends how you define it. One of them means, well, they both start with air, whether you take the French or Greek, but then you've got Latin or Greek for plane, which actually does mean flat, planos, or it could mean wandering, whether you take the Greek. So it could be air wandering or air flat. Just saying.
All right. So does fluid
static flat?
Yeah, the fluid static. Does that mean that water find its level? I mean, I guess we gotta associate it with something flurfy related.
I guess. But then when they're pushed on, show me a portion of the ocean that's completely level and flat, they can't.
Static.
That's no, and then you got the level and flat. Misunderstanding about the word level in planet size and flat.
I mean, fluid statics is a general subject. So what specifically about fluid statics can't we explain? You can't just say fluid statics. It's like saying can't explain science. What part of science, what bit of science do you want us to explain, or you think we can't explain?
This is his standard script. Yeah, he got these highlines, all these line up, and in every place he go to talk, he got these points, and he can talk for hours about how does he misunderstand every single point of this, and how he never learned the way he's explained this.
I'm gonna up him one with fluid statics and say car speed.
Thank you. Let's not go too far. Let's not bring new points. There's many more.
Okay.
Okay. Why the globe is photoshopped?
Never been.
You saw that coming. You saw that coming.
Well, I mean,
Photoshop existed in the 1950s and 60s and 70s.
Exactly.
I think what they're really stating there is that, I mean, from the early days of even tintype photos, people could doctor photos. That's what they're really getting at. They're not saying they used Photoshop in the 1970s.
I mean, here's the thing. One question when this comes up is like when they say, "Oh, the globe is photoshopped," because it has to be. But then I always, particularly on social media, I always post the original Blue Marble. I mean the original one, taken by Apollo 17 on the way to the moon when they had a unique opportunity when it was like a full disc lit up on one side showing Africa and Madagascar and all the rest of it. Then I always say, what is your evidence that is photoshopped? Never get an answer, ever. Never had an answer, ever. Never had anybody produce any of the evidence.
Paul has a great point. Kim Kardashian is also photoshopped. Does that mean that she is a fake globe and actually flat as well?
She's not just Photoshop, she's fake all over them. She's all plastic.
She's still a real person, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fake person. Well,
fake
I
body,
mean,
fake, yeah,
how
well,
you-
a real person, but a fake body. Like,
But she's not flat though.
she's definitely not flat. No, very
how many more
curved.
points? Is this stream going to go on for hours and hours because of how many points there are? Kind of like, when they discuss vacuum pressure.
I don't
in
know.
other
I'm not
streams.
sure. We go with the flow here, man.
Yeah.
Okay, the globe. What does it mean by the globe is Photoshop? Like all the pictures he's in?
Yeah, he's talking about all the pictures of the globe are all photoshopped.
The Stingray, do you agree with that statement? The globe is Photoshop?
You have to define what is meant by photoshopped.
Yeah,
So,
true.
so everything that is photoshopped is not real.
That's not what that sentence says. That simply says that the
No,
globe
I'm asking. Since something was photoshopped, does it make it not real? Because they made this Photoshop software for a reason, right? So you can manipulate the photos, and people do it all the time. They do it all the time on the phones. They have filters.
Hold on, Matt. Let's
So-
hear Stingray point. Yeah, answer to this. What do you think about that point?
Well, like I say, you'd have to define what you mean by photoshopped. If by Photoshop you mean digitally altered in any way,
yes,
there is an argument to say that almost everything that you see today is digitally altered in a way. The only time that would not be true is if you took physical chemical film and developed it yourself. You could say that is not digitally altered. So there is not one image that anybody can point to that has not been digitally altered.
All right,
the
let me
digitalization process itself is fucking recording sensor data digitally.
Let me narrow it down. By Photoshop mean manipulated in certain way with an external piece of software or program or app or something. Like if I take a picture on my phone, might be computer generated all the way, but that doesn't mean it's Photoshop. What you mean Photoshop is that if I take my picture and then I pass it through a program of Paint or GIMP or Photoshop, and then I alter that and I add or take away something. That
Altered by software.
Yes.
You can also include firmware in that, or any kind of software running on like a ROM chip or digital processing chip that's being configured with variables and inputs. Then I still put it to you that every single photo that is available to you today is digitally altered. Now, if they mean photoshopped as in someone changed it to make it look better, I think like Chaik was alluding to, that doesn't mean it's not real. It means it's just made to look better, just like every fucking image from your phone.
Right.
I have a good
Right,
example.
so that's my question. So if something is Photoshop, does it mean it does not real? Why even ask this question?
Well,
it was Photoshop because someone decided to Photoshop it. Hey, I can't finish a sentence. What's wrong?
Okay, go on. Go ahead. Okay.
No, now I'm finished.
Okay. May I? I have a good example. Like if you take a picture of your children, it's normal for people before you post it online, you increase the contrast a little bit, colors, and you post it to look a little bit better with better contrast and better colors. Doesn't mean it's photoshopped and the children are not real; they're faked or what? I don't know.
Here's the point that I'm trying to make for both Lubo and also Chaik is don't forget if you're talking about specifically about Photoshop, right? You can actually produce an image that does not require a photograph. Okay, so so you don't necessarily mean so something could always be not real. You just produce an image and it could be a whole load of shapes. It's still an image, right?
But
Yeah, but
it doesn't necessarily have to be a photograph. Huh?
Yeah, I think
Adobe uses different software. I don't know. But
No, you can. You can produce an image in Photoshop without a photograph.
Well, of course,
You can draw. You can
generate.
Hold on, guys. Stingray, go ahead.
You can generate imagery in Photoshop, whether it be a Mandelbrot fractal or just a gradient, or do anything you want.
Right.
You absolutely can. In fact, up until the last 2 versions of Photoshop, people didn't use it, therefore Adobe took it out, but you could actually manipulate 3D graphics inside there, do primitive shapes along with texture distortions in a full 3D editing suite. But again, it's just ambiguous. So an example is the way that you can tell if someone knows something really well and knows what they're on about is if they're arguing positively for a point, ask them to argue negatively for it. And if they have nothing, they're just a fuckwit. So an example is if I'm arguing, if I ask them for a reason of why, take a photo of the Earth. If the Earth was a sphere, if it was huge, and if you were out in space and you were taking a photo of the globe, what challenges would you face? Do you have enough knowledge to be able to say it would be hard because? And if you can't, then how the fuck are you judging whether a photo is real from this supposed planet or not? Because one of the biggest things is if you've got a spherical object that predominantly is quite a reflective material and you're going to take it in sunlight, you've got a really bad problem in contrast there between the highlights and the shadow areas for any camera to expose properly. So no matter what you do, you'd probably use what you call a bracketed shot to even just expose the entire thing so that some of it's not burnt out. And that's just photography 101.
Ouch. Boom.
I want to say this, and added to what Stingray says, you don't even need Photoshop anymore. There's AI programs that you can put parameters in and tell it, and it will create an image for you. Basically anything you want.
Yep. Anyway, I mean, the thing is, photoshopped as well has been used as a general verb, isn't it? It's like anything that's digitally altered is they call it Photoshop.
Manipulated somehow.
Yeah.
Let me ask the question. No thanks is here. Hopefully he can speak, and I got a question for you. Do you agree with this statement, or do you agree with this question? Why the globe is photoshopped? Do you agree with that question, and why? What do you mean? What does that mean? No thanks is not here. Okay. I mean, he can talk. All right. Next. All right. Let's see.
I can also explain one more about why is it photoshopped, because most of the cameras on all satellites that are actually monochromatic, they are black and white, and they use color filters and different wavelength filters to specially see the wavelengths we want to see, for example CO2 or some other methane wavelengths. And then they decide, okay, which wavelengths are we going to combine to have a RGB color, red, green, and blue. The color we can actually see. That's why they use, I don't know what the program they use.
Right. All right. Let's move on from that point. We can, let's try to, just comment on those, but we can go back to it at the end. Now, this is a fun one called Moonlight.
No,
wait, that's a question. He said questions that Glovers can't answer. So the question is, called Moonlight?
Whenever I hear a flat earther say this, I ask them, is there a temperature difference between when the sun is out and the moon is out? And then they'll say yes, and I say, why? Well, the sun's a lot hotter. So is moonlight cold then? Well, the answer has to be no, because if the sun is producing the heat, of course, when the sun's not out, it's going to be cooler. It's not the moon producing cold.
Funding. Listen, I think Nathan did a reset all the way back to 2015. I don't know how long I didn't hear about this called Moonlight nonsense. He brings it up now.
Nathan Thompson.
No, I'm going to argue for the flat earthers here. That's not what they mean, Lyle. What they mean is, I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure it's a good guess. What they mean is outside at night time, in the shade, the moon shade will be warmer than the moonlight if you take temperature sensor readings in those areas. And for a lot of the time, statistically, that might be true, but it's got fuck all to do with the moon or the light.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's true about when the sun's out, though, too. You can stand in shaded areas and it will be cooler in the shade than it is out in direct sunlight. So
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they're saying it's the opposite though, Lael. So imagine if the sun was out and in direct sunlight it was cooler than it was in the shade where it was hot. That's what they're saying about the moon. That the bounce light from the moon produces cold light. In other words, if you take a room of like say 10 degrees Celsius and one side of it is lit with moonlight, it will drop to 5 degrees Celsius, and the bit that's in the shade might go up to 11 degrees Celsius or something. That's the disparity, what they're on about. They just don't realize what latent heating is through the day.
Quick comment in between. Big shout out to Pronon1990 supporting the channel with $15 on PayPal. Happy early birthday from Pronon1990. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And happy to accept your early birthday present. It's tomorrow. Yeah. Got it. Sorry.
Because
there,
then
every year, sorry, every year so many people that getting dead because they went out during the full moon, you know. And there are all the biggest storms, there's snowstorms. They're during the really during the full moon, for sure. Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong as well. Cold
You're wrong.
is not an energy. Cold is just a lack of heat, right? So their misconception is that they think that cold is somehow an energy.
Cold is the opposite of hot.
Yeah.
What's also
not an
misconception is
energy.
the word cold, because 110 degrees to 50 degrees is cold, but compared to negative 10 degrees, 50 degrees is hot. So what do they mean by cold?
That is not hot. It doesn't burn you, and you feel chill, and you need to cover more and put more layers of.
No, like it was said exactly. If you shine something with moonlight, it will get colder than it will be if there was no moonlight.
Yeah, gibberish.
My eyes always freeze when I look at the full moon.
I thought you turned into a werewolf when you're full moon.
I always put my drinks outside to get for them to get chill when it's nighttime.
Yeah.
That whole cold moonlight thing, that's just one more thing that's not observed, they hold as truth.
Right. No evidence.
The places in the world probably would very much like that the moon would be cold, so it would be chillier at night, but no, doesn't work.
How many more points are there, Jose?
More. So can anybody explain Mr. Freeze's cold gun then?
He must have got it from the moonlight.
Exactly. The idea was taken by the moonlight.
I mean the moon shade, sorry.
Pixie dust.
All right, let's go to the next. How Earth generates a magnetic field from a molten core. Oh, shit. How Earth generates a magnetic field from a molten core. There you go. From a molten core?
Well, it needs a solid core for that also.
Yeah. The core is not the core is not molten. End of. Period.
Right.
It's metallic in nature, or nickel in nature, and from what I've read, and if I'm wrong, as the Earth rotates, it causes the nickel to rotate with it, and that causes the magnetic field, because I can't remember what I read, but it just does.
If I just want to encourage those, there's a bunch of people over here. Shout out to all of you in Discord. Carl K, Chaik, Larry, Lubo, Matt, Moyok, No Thanks, Leal, and Stingray. If anybody that haven't given any answer, or if you actually have a quick answer like the official answer, quick, short, and precise, please say I got it, and then we'll give you the floor, and then we can comment on it around.
Okay, the molten portion of the core, molten portion of the core swirls, and swirling metal generates an electric field or a magnetic field.
I have
called the Reynolds.
I have a question related to that, not necessarily his statement. Can we, from the magnetic field, could we determine the Earth's axial tilt?
We're going too far. We're going way off from this question, and this could take us places, Lael, that we don't want to like get caught on. Let's try to stick to the points first, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
If you're still here, then we can entertain other things.
Yeah, there's the what's the name of the temperature? I don't know, forgot the name. When you melt, when you reach the temperature, the iron, the magnets will lose their magnetic power. But that works for iron. But for nickel, actually, with the pressure, when the pressure increases, it can withstand higher temperatures too. So the temperature rises of that the critical temperature rises with that, but I'm not sure how exactly is it with the core.
I believe you're describing the Curie point, but molten metals that are flowing are above the Curie point, but then you have the Reynolds number where rotating, swirling liquid metals generate magnetic fields.
Yeah, it has to be liquid because a solid wouldn't create convection. So the reason you know it's liquid is because you know there's convection, because you know there's magnetic fields. Therefore, there must be a core, and it must be liquid, and it must be not a solid.
Chat did not thanks. I heard the dynamo effect. Have anybody heard the dynamo effect? Thinker feels.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the swirling molten liquid. Yeah, you have a rotation, and that is essentially similar to what we see in dynamos. We can generate electric current, with rotating magnetic fields.
Okay.
Well, in answer to your statement or your question or whatever the hell you just did, you said something about we assume this because of this. And no, there's actually other things that support the idea of the hypothesis, like the way that sound waves or earthquake and geological movements actually bounce around and vibrate the earth, actually tell us that it's a molten area versus a solid core and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's all induction. There's no evidence of it besides the evidence of seismic activity. Therefore,
none except that, which is
what you just said. Yeah, what you just said. There's no evidence of it except for the evidence of it. So we have the evidence of it.
just association, causation, correlation. That we have a magnetic field, therefore there must be a molten core. That's all.
No. See, that was
is not
two
molten.
things.
The
There were
core
two
is-
supporting pieces of inductive information.
Right.
The core is not molten.
Well, yeah, I got sucked into that one.
The core is not molten. The lava. I mean, you can go to a volcano and see lava lake. You can go to Hawaii and see lava lake. Don't tell me that it's not molten.
I
That's
have
what I'm saying.
observation.
How far would that? How far would that be down? How far is it from the surface, the volcanoes?
Well,
to the center?
right. Okay. Well, it depends. Okay, you're gonna have to decide then what the core is. Then the inner core is not molten, as you can see in this graphic we're seeing right now.
We're missing a very basic point here. We're missing a very basic. How are convection currents caused without rotation? No tanks.
Didn't hear you.
Didn't hear me. That's because you chose not to. How are convection currents caused without rotation?
Nobody's saying that there aren't convection currents and there isn't rotation. I'm just saying that's the induction for why you went down through the Earth to the center to say that's what's spinning. The Earth is spinning, and there's a center because we observe.
You yourself believe the Earth is rotating.
Because we observe the sun and the stars moving, and we observe magnetic fields. Therefore, we must go to the center of the Earth, and we must be spinning. And if we're spinning,
No. Does the center of the Earth have convection currents? Yes or no? From your perspective.
no, there's no evidence that it's from the center of the Earth.
Really?
I don't know that there is a center. I don't know that there is a center to the Earth.
I never said center. Do volcanoes have heat pressure in them?
They have pressure, sure.
Is that pressure causing the stuff coming out to be hot?
I don't know what you're saying. There's pressure because there's containment. You know, so the volcanoes are contained
You're
until
not
the
answering
pressure
the
releases.
question. You're not answering the question. Does the pressure cause the liquid coming out of the volcano to be hot?
It could. Yeah.
It could. No, it is hot. Have you ever touched cold lava?
So lava is molten rock sometimes only. What?
And how is this lava that is hot? How is the heat caused without convection?
I'm not saying that there is no convection. I'm just saying that there is no core or evidence of a core. There's no evidence of a center of an Earth.
If convection exists, how can convection occur without rotation?
There is rotation. We can observe it.
So the Earth does rotate.
We can observe the sun and the stars rotating.
The Earth rotates, right?
I mean, rivers flow. What's your point?
No, you're not answering the question. The question is a yes/no question. Does the Earth rotate? No.
No, the Earth doesn't rotate.
How are convection currents in the Earth caused if the Earth is not rotating?
I mean, you can have, like I said, you can have rivers that flow. There's movement. There's convection that can occur from flowing, from movement. Yeah. Doesn't mean
And
there's
why
a
is the
center of
movement
an Earth.
always in one direction,
What's
which
that?
is down?
Flowing rivers. Wow.
All right, we should move on to the next point because we can get stuck here all day. Let's go to the next point of the darnest things that Nathan Thompson says. The point over here is Nathan Thompson posted 2 days ago, it's 2023 and globe lovers still can't explain. And we are going point by point on things that have been explained to him thousands of times and are being explained here in real time by different people. Lack of Coriolis? That's a question, I guess. Who want to take it?
How much Coriolis does he expect exactly? Can he quantify the lack of Coriolis?
We cannot ask him question. I mean, we will try to address his point because he ain't here, you know. But the question is lack of Coriolis?
Well, Chike is right. I mean, Chike is right. It's just too general. What you know, you need to define it in order for us to answer it. You know, how can we?
I think there's an issue with the question, like everybody's pointing out. I think it's lack of Coriolis. I don't know whether it means a quantitative thing, like there should be more of it. Because if that's the case, then what's causing the little bit of it that you think we do have? And then if he thinks that it's completely absent, then how does he explain weight differences, you know, proportional to the latitude that you're on? It makes no sense.
How we explain focal pendulum?
That's short and quick. Lack of Coriolis.
You
Go to
can
the
just
next.
go to the manuals. Shooting.
Oh, here we go.
Manuals.
I like this one. Fauna and flora being completely different in the north and south. Drastic temperature variations.
Is that it?
Yeah. He think that nobody can answer why in the north versus south there's completely different fauna and flora with drastic temperature variations.
Temperature differences between summer and winter anywhere?
Well, he's talking about in the North Pole. In the North Pole, there's a lot of animal and vegetation life, and in Antarctica, in the opposite pole, there's barely any vegetation or animal life.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
All those down there are penguins with guns, right?
But there's not 10, 20, 100 variety of animals and vegetables.
What you talking about? What do fish eat? What all the whales that used to live there ate if there's no vegetation?
Whales can travel far great distances.
Well, whales don't travel for the fun of it. They travel because they need to. And if they travel all the way to the South Pole to feed, there's food there.
Yeah, well, I think he may be referencing like above, not deep in the ocean. I think he's
No
referencing
deep
it
in the ocean, we know that where it's frozen, nothing grows. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, then what are the fish eating? That the
It's
whales
eating
feed on?
what's in the water, which are not frozen.
Yeah, but it's not frozen.
So,
But it
so,
is okay.
so directly to the point. Anybody want to address this directly? If you understand where he's coming from, or want to rephrase his statement, fauna and flora being completely different in the north and south with drastic temperature variations.
Well, I can. Like, the thing is, there's a Gulf Stream coming north from America. It's very hot stream. That's why UK has really hot temperatures compared to like the same latitude somewhere in Russia, and not really hot. I mean, much warmer temperatures, and it also affects the North Sea. Well, there is a unbroken current of cold sea going around Antarctica. And Antarctica has a much higher elevation. It's like, I think, the highest elevated continent in the world. Like, average elevation is like 3,000 meters. If I'm right, I'm not really sure. Yeah, that's the main point. If you are higher in the mountains, you get colder weather. And I don't think polar bears would survive in Antarctica unless they eat all penguins, but they don't have anything else to eat.
I just showing a graph from the previous point about Coriolis, the lack of Coriolis, and we got an animation with a hurricane spinning on the opposite direction as the hurricanes in the northern hemisphere, and is due to the Coriolis effect. Thank you, Matt Brosset.
The lack of Coriolis that he's referencing is the lack of the apparent deviation caused by the traveling north to south, where we should be deflected east and west due to the spin of the Earth. There's a lack of that. There's not a lack of hurricanes.
But that's what we see. We see clouds deflecting.
Yeah, clockwise and counterclockwise of from the equator. That's derived from elevation angles to Polaris and from the sun. And
what?
That's the equator.
Wait, hurricanes are derived from the angle.
What Polaris has to do with Coriolis now?
The equator, which is the halfway point where you no longer see Polaris, right? So we call that place the equator, and it's where the sun appears to move in a straight line at a longer distance, right? And that's that place where the sun travels over. Yeah, the place where the sun travels over top of.
Wait,
right?
but why would the sun travel in a straight line in the equator? That's a good
It
question.
appears to move in a straight line, yeah.
Why?
We're talking about hurricanes, and you're talking about.
I don't know. Wait. The sun is moving in a straight line. That's in one direction. That's in one. I don't know where on Earth. It goes in straight line in some direction, and then it comes from the other opposite direction.
On the equinox,
where did the sun go?
A straight line, yeah, for sure. Up here, right? You keep on hearing me say up here or not?
And what do you mean appear? Is it a straight line or is it not a straight line?
No, it's measurably not a straight line, right? But
Measurably, how do you measure it not to be a straight line?
I'm going to allow you to continue cutting me off. Go ahead.
No, I'm not allowing you to continue in nonsense. I want you to expand on them.
You're just throwing out different ideas of multiple things, and one of those things you said is that hurricanes are derived from the angle to Polaris. Define how that is possible. Why does the angle to Polaris have anything to do with a hurricane?
All right, so you won't cut me off, or you will?
Let's not interrupt. When he starts talking, we're not going to interrupt him for clarification or asking again to answer the question. When he starts talking, he's going to finish his point before anybody interrupts, all right? Or you might be muted if you interrupt. Not thanks again, like instantly.
I want him to answer my specific thing, not tell me how many people live in China. I want to know how hurricanes are derived from the angle to Polaris. That is what I want to know.
I'll restate it. So hurricanes that are observed deflecting clockwise and counterclockwise at the equator, which was obtained through elevation angles from Polaris, right, and mapped as where the sun will move over in and out of the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. That's all.
That's incorrect. The equator has nothing to do with hurricanes, and it has nothing to do with mapping an angle to Polaris. If Polaris didn't exist, we would still have the equator.
Check. What was that? I had to do something. What?
I said if Polaris did not exist, we would still have the equator. Polaris has nothing to do with the equator and vice versa, and neither do hurricanes.
The equator is where the equator is the place where the sun moves over. Incidentally, where Polaris finally dips out of view and you can't see it. It's now out of view.
Great. Polaris has nothing to do with why the Earth has an equator.
Yeah, the sun, right, moving over the equator.
The sun has nothing to do with the Earth having an equator either. Every planet has an equator.
Coincidence?
Every planet that is a sphere has an equator. It's just the center mark of the sphere.
All right, coming back in 2 minutes, and we're gonna move to the next point. I'm gonna be muted, but you guys talk among yourself in 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Yeah. So my only point there, Bud, was that Nathan Thompson is asking not about hurricanes that are derived from where the sun moves, right? No, he's asking about.
What do you mean by derived from where the sun moves? Hurricanes don't care where the sun moves.
Move the sun and find out.
Rotation and other causes of the Earth, not from the sun's location.
If you don't know that the sun is over the equator, I don't know what to tell you.
But the equator isn't derived from the sun's movement.
Of course it is.
Wait, what's this nonsense about the sun is over the equator?
No, he said the equator is derived.
No, don't let him explain later.
Well, Lale thinks that somebody went to outer space and just lined up the equator and came back. I don't know what you think.
Bulele, can I hear his answer? Thank you.
I didn't really hear the question.
He's putting words in my mouth I didn't say. I'm going to interrupt him because I didn't say that. I never mentioned people being in outer space determining the equator.
Right. So then how did the equator get specified? Which is, just an arbitrary.
The center of every sphere is what we call the equator.
No, that's the molten core, right?
No, I'm talking about the center from as you would if you're looking at a basketball. On the outside center of the basketball, that is an equator. Every sphere has an equator. The center.
A meridian? Like a
meridian? Yes, the meridian is the equator.
Well, the meridian
intersects with the equator on Earth.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the sun. It has nothing to do with hurricanes. It has to do with being the center, located as a line in the center of the sphere. Not from the center, but of the center.
And how did we find out that was the center?
Because people have traveled from the north center to the south center, and the center is the center. You're asking how do you know circles have centers?
Time.
No, thanks. Can you elaborate about the nonsense of the sun above the equator?
Yeah, that's how we mark the equator.
How? Tell me how.
During the equinox, like I stated earlier. So
how do we know it's equinox? How do we know it's equinox?
Because that's when we have equal day and night. Yeah. Like the center, equidistant, center, equator, equal.
All right, let's go to the next point. That's a great wrap up to that kind of off discussion.
So it's the sun that defines the equator, not the not the not the North Star.
Oh. That was a good wrap up for that. Whatever statement he made, random statement, that was good. To move on to the next.
Let's go.
The Antarctic Treaty.
How do we explain the Antarctic Treaty? Well, there were a bunch of countries that decided to sign the Antarctic Treaty.
Thank you very much. There was one time when all the nations came together, they said, let's sign this treaty so we don't disturb or build and appropriate Antarctica, and we'll keep it nice and clean. Very good. Very well explained, Chike. Anybody else want to chime in on that? That Glovers can't explain the Antarctic Treaty? Anybody else? I mean, is there any more to say?
Yeah. The best part about the Antarctic Treaty is it describes the South Pole and Antarctica. So even if there is an Antarctic Treaty, that still confirms the place.
Very nice.
Yeah, maybe you could give does anybody know a reason why they would create this treaty and like what its purpose is?
In light of world harmony after the war.
Yeah, we just said why.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's still a place. I mean,
yeah,
and that's all we need.
Maybe it was like Larry said. Maybe it was, in the spirit more politic things to prevent wars. But
Shike and I, we nailed it. We nailed it off the gate. That was the quickest answer we gave, right? We did good. Thank you for explaining that's not the treaty. Yeah, you see, we are able to explain every point, Nathan Thompson. All right, let's see the next point that we need to. The Glovers can't explain. No time lapses from space. Wait, that's a statement more than a question? But that's a wrong statement because time lapses from space, taken from space, have been, are done.
Well, we can provide one.
Yeah, they can be
live.
provided.
Hold on. Let me provide you one.
Yeah,
live.
I wonder is his Google search broken?
Why? Oh, I know. He doesn't know how to Google. He had a T-shirt by the name of JM Truth, but they broke up. Like the Beatles, they broke up. Shout out to everybody. We got a bunch more people that joined Discord. Any guys want to jump in and chime in any point, please feel free to do so. Let's try not to interrupt each other too much. Okay. No time lasted from space. Anybody have given a good explanation for this?
Only that his search engine is broken.
Yeah, I would say it's a malformed question on Nathan's part. Yeah.
Right? I mean, because he'll say like, "Hey, I got a list of things that Glovers can't explain," and he say, "That's not a question first," and then he say, "No time lasted from space." I mean, Glovers. I don't know. It's weird. If he said we can't explain, maybe time lasted from space, but the no in the beginning is kind of like extra.
Yeah, well, I provided one.
Time lasted from space.
Yeah, I posted it in the Daily Boom.
All right, let's see. Quick look, and then we'll move on. There you go. There you go. Time lasts from space. Very nice, Jake. Very nice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's go to the next. No stars in space. Whoa. That's a weird one to claim that. It's not even a question for the Glovers. The Glovers can't explain no stars in space. Yeah, I explained that you're full of shit because there are stars in space. We can see it. Everybody can see stars. Every human being that has eyes and can see stars in space. So no stars in space is just wrong. Anybody, go ahead. The point.
What was Nathan in space to confirm there's no stars there?
What was he smoking when he wrote this?
I don't even.
Or is he taking the word of some NASA shield that says he didn't see stars? I mean, if NASA shield said it, namely Neil Armstrong, then you can't trust his word.
He moved from questions. He moved from the actual questions to just making statements like, claims, like baseless claims. He moved on from one topic to the other, but still, we're gonna entertain that. Now, no, wait, whoa, Citizen 9, you killed it. How, if there's no stars in space, how do they twinkle? Refer to the second point. Chike, got him.
He already forgot about his second point. You know,
he did. He did.
He's got some memory problems.
Damn, man. Shout out to Citizen 9. Good point. All right, next. No 24-hour sun in the south. It's a claim?
It's a claim which is not specific again. The south. There is no 24-hour sun in the north either. Only the North Pole or the Arctics. Not
I mean,
the
if you're in
north.
if you're in the south of New York, South Los Angeles, South
Even South Africa, you won't have
I know.
24-hour sun.
Maybe he was there during Antarctic winter.
But in Antarctica there is. We have evidence.
Yes. In the South Pole, let's say in the South Pole to complete.
I don't want to label things like South Pole. Let's call them by their names. Antarctica.
Antarctica, yeah.
The wall, as far as I'm concerned.
The southern part of the world, yeah. Outer perimeters. Yeah, that's wrong because it can. There is 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Seen. Parabolic rocket launches. How can you explain parabolic rocket launches? That is a good point. Anybody want to raise your hand that haven't say nothing today and take a second to explain parabolic rocket launches?
I don't know how he means. Why would he expect anything but parabolic rocket launches?
Can you explain why do we see that? Do people see parabolic rocket launches? I expect to see a point of the rocket going up, straight up, and disappearing because it gets so small, just straight up. I don't expect to see parabolic. So if there's an explanation for it,
well, that could be done. However, as we know, everything that goes up must go down also. So that's not the way to do it. That's for sure.
I
You
agree.
must reach orbital velocity to around the Earth. The velocity around the Earth is more important than the height of the rocket.
Right.
So that's why they shoot the rockets like down, like in a curve, like up and then down.
No, they usually launch them eastwards because basically the rotation of Earth gives already velocity like, as you say, like 1,000, I don't know how many miles per hour at the equator. So it gives advantage to launch everything to east because it already got the velocity, and they need to rotate around Earth. They don't need to go up. What will they do up? They need to orbit the Earth, so they need to reach the velocity. That's all. Easy explanation.
Anybody else want to explain parabolic rocket launches?
I mean, he can.
Go ahead, Stingray.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've demonstrated this a lot of time with 3D graphics. Something in your vision can appear to go up and act downwards, but continue to go up in relation to the ground. That's just perspective.
I was waiting for somebody to chime in on that. I didn't want to even claim it. I was just hoping one of you guys would.
That was a mouthful of noises. There was no words in there. It was like bad sound.
Me? Oh, you can hear bad, Mike?
No, yeah.
It's still bad?
I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead.
I said I was. I didn't even want to bring that up, but that is the claim: is that it's a perspective issue, as well as this
velocity. So it gets conflated. Some will say, oh, it's just perspective. It looks like it's going down. This is, from the globe side. And then some will say, no, it's going with the velocity of the spinning Earth. So, I mean, which one? Is it a combination?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
because,
Thanks.
Because when you go around the Earth, basically,
Jake.
because you go around the Earth, that means you go behind the horizon. Like the sun, when the sun sets, so you go around the Earth. In your perspective, it looks like you're going you are hitting the ground, but actually you're going around the Earth. It's the same as the sun. Sun doesn't go down and explode in the sea.
The sun on the globe, right? With the globe, the sun doesn't do anything. The sun's is staying in a straight line.
The sun stays in a straight line. Sorry.
Yeah, it stays at the same place as you spin, and the sun goes down one day, one night.
What do you mean the sun stays in a straight line?
It's a set height, so it's just a straight line.
When? Not for me. Not outside.
I couldn't hear you.
I said, not for me, not outside, not when I look at it, not when I photograph it. Sun, in relation to me on the ground, is doing anything but traveling in a straight line.
I see.
Not sure you do.
One more thing, like you can download any space simulators, like rocket launch simulators on the phone. You can do Kerbal space program on your computer. There's so many apps they can play game to launch rockets, and it explains everything, but they still can't get it.
Can I say, holy shit? I got a big $20 on PayPal. Was that you, Turing Test? Turing Test. Yo, thank you very much, man. I think it was you. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was you. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate your support. If anybody want to give me money, because today is the day before my birthday, is my birthday eve, please give me money and then save some so you can come back tomorrow and give me some more money on my birthday. You see? It's a win-win for me. And you don't lose anything but a couple dollars that you got to spare. See? Thank you. Everybody wins. Shout out to me. Trying to sweet talk you into giving me shit.
Oh, Jose, I found my example. Wait, give me a second.
Yeah. Good times, man.
So yeah, I'm going to share an example of a rocket launch where the elevation from the ground is always going up, but it looks like it's arcing downward.
Perspective, yeah. So it's perspective and just going not going straight up and down, because then that wouldn't it wouldn't go with you wouldn't have enough power. You have to go with the spin of the Earth.
So
you're up on screen, Stingray.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How many more points does Nathan have, out of curiosity?
Hold on. Stingray is presenting this point. Let's take a look at it.
So this looks like from even an elevated position. So let's say this is, I don't know, 50,000 feet high, and I'm 25,000 feet. Even at 25,000 feet, seems like this is going down. If I put myself nearer the surface,
I got to see a SpaceX from
right
the northeast corner of North Carolina, and some 618 miles away, and it was still going up, even though the people in the local area thought it was going down. I'm very confused by that.
Oh yeah, no, this looks like it's going down to me. If you've got a one-dimensional brain with rudimentary preschool level understanding of the world, you think this rocket is absolutely heading for the ground right now, but in fact, it's not. It's always getting in a higher elevation from a curving surface. Just so you know.
Nice.
Perspective, bitches!
Very nice. Moyog Man, hot mic. Little background noise there. Not too bad. Thank you, Stingray. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the next point. There's a few more points in here. There's not too many left. Let's see what else we got. I haven't read none of this. This is all new to me. Selenilion, the impossible eclipse.
This
Who
is
wants
so
to
easily
say me?
explained.
Explain. Go ahead.
Well, you can open a stellarium. In stellarium, you can turn on and turn off refraction. And basically, when you turn off refraction, the moon and the sun, they're actually exactly opposite location. So they are under Earth, and Earth causes shadow on the moon. But when you turn on the refraction, it raises the sun and the moon up. So you see the sun and the moon, and you see the lunar eclipse. But actually, physically, they are under your geometric horizon. But you can see it because of the refraction. That's all.
So
It's not
when you
even
turn
like
on the
big amount.
pretend,
It's not even a big amount. It's like half a degree.
Yeah,
Oh,
as
1
as
degree difference.
Yeah.
as
Hold on,
as op-
hold
so
on,
when
as
you
Chai.
turn on
opposed
the
Hold on, Chai.
pretend
Hold on, Chai.
refraction,
Gotti
you get the
started first.
selenilion.
Gotti, you want to tell us? The Nathan think the globe can't explain selenilion, the impossible eclipse.
Well, they give an explanation, but the explanation is
Thank you.
bullshit.
Thank you. But thank you because we give explanation. You know, the globe gives an
Yeah.
explanation. Thank you.
Maybe Gary can give you explanation then.
Well, I
I
don't know
just
what
want
it is, but it definitely isn't refraction.
Why is it bullshit?
Refraction and gravity are like the baling wire and duct tape in the globy world. They fix everything.
So in summary, you don't know what it is, but you know it's not our explanation.
Well, I know I actually saw one. I think it was last
But
August
you don't know how it works, right?
in my
You cannot
area,
explain it.
and
Explain it.
the sun and the moon were definitely both visible above the horizon, and the moon was about 2/3 eclipse when I saw it. I was driving at the time, but
Can you
I
explain
knew
the
there was
mechanics
one
of
going to
that?
be that afternoon or that evening.
You explain the mechanics of that?
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
what?
right? Can you explain the mechanics of that? How that happened? Like,
I
try
don't
to
know.
explain it so we can illustrate it in our minds.
I don't have to explain it. All I know is it
No,
wasn't
you don't
because
know.
the
Okay.
Earth was in between them both.
Right. You know what is
So
not,
there
but you
is
don't know what it is.
so there is another explanation, and it's not
Sounds about-
refraction.
Sounds about as fluffy as I thought. Yeah.
Well, refraction is as silly as can be. I mean, if you want to believe that the sun and moon were refracted about a
Can
degree
easily-
up. 'Cause
easily-
I actually have mountain ranges on both sides of me, on the
Easily.
east and the west, which means that the sun and the moon would both have to be about a degree above the horizon.
easily
I'm sorry,
demonstrate.
refraction is
Gary,
bullshit.
can you fucking shut your mouth? You
Oh,
can't
shut
go
up, Chike.
on
I was
for an hour.
talking.
Here we go.
I wasn't
You
talking
can't
for
go
an
on.
hour. I've barely been on here,
Yes,
Chike.
you were. You kept going
Chike, just
on
shut
this
up.
refraction. I said
Hush up,
easily.
Chikey. Chikey,
Easily.
quit crying. Quit
Easily.
crying. Don't lose your temper now. Calm
The
down.
minute I open my mouth, you decide to talk, Gary, and say nothing.
I
while you
wasn't
do.
done talking.
Yeah. Oh, please continue. Let's hear your point.
So you're free now, Chikey. Go ahead. You have my
Okay.
permission.
Thank you very much. So I said refraction easily demonstrated. What I want to be demonstrated is lunar eclipse of solar eclipse of any kind on flat Earth.
I don't have to explain how it does it.
Sure
I
you
do have an
don't.
idea. Okay, you just interrupted me, Chikey. Now shut your mouth.
Let's hear it. I'd
Just
love to
be
hear it.
quiet. Okay, Chikey, you don't like it when I interrupt you. Now you shut up. So anyhow, I don't have to explain it. All I know is they were about a degree above the horizon because they were above the hills and the mountains on each side of me, which means they're at least a degree up in the air, up in the sky, over the what would be the actual horizon if I didn't have mountains on each side of me. So they were easily visible, and it was 2/3 eclipse. The Earth was definitely not between them because if they're at opposite ends, right? One's in the north and one's in the south or whatever. I would be at the top point of the globe, right? Which means they can't. I wasn't looking at a downward angle to each one. I was looking up at an upward angle to each one, and so there was definitely no Earth in between. You give an explanation of refraction, But you can't demonstrate that refraction will lift the sun or the moon up a degree into the air. You can't prove that. Just because you can do a little demonstration with nitrogen or something that you pour over something to create some coldness or whatever to change the way you see the lighting, that doesn't equate at all to what you see with the eclipse with the sun and moon on both visible. Doesn't equate at all.
I thought you're going to tell us your idea. Why then?
I don't have to. I already told you. I don't know.
I know you said you don't have to. You said you don't have to, but you have an idea.
He's talking.
But
I have an idea, but I'm not ready to present it yet. But at the same, because I'm not like you guys, I'm not gonna spout out some stupid thing like refraction and expect everybody to believe it.
Hold on, Chai. But Gary, at least if you're the opening to say, well, this is not, it doesn't have to be true, but it's my speculation and it's an idea. So you don't have to debunk my idea because it's just an idea. You can say it.
You don't do that on these shows because these guys will clip everything you say and hold it against you forever. I'm not stupid. That's why do you think I don't come on camera? Because you guys freeze frame that person in their worst the worst look you can find on their face, and that is forever imprinted on every video that they make against you.
I do it all the time, man.
I know, and that's bullshit. It's bullshit. And that's the same way. If I gave my speculation, then I would be identified with that forever.
But remember,
I do have an idea of what it is.
Remember, there's a famous philosopher.
It has nothing to do with refraction.
Gary, remember the famous philosopher who say, "Show your face, man. Show your face." Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Before the moment is gone, Gary, you just admitted. You know your idea is stupid, too stupid to be presented because it will be held against you for the rest of your life.
No, I have no way of proving it yet, and I haven't really looked into it. But I have an idea of what it actually is.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
And I'm not going to present it, no, because I haven't confirmed in my mind that it's real. So if I do, I will. Well, it's better than being a globie who spouts out that it's refraction, that sun and moon are refracted a degree above each horizon, and expect everybody to believe that silliness. I mean, that's just plain silly.
Easily demonstrated.
I would like to ask
it isn't easily demonstrated.
Gary.
You can't demonstrate that a sun or a moon would be refracted a degree above the horizon. Okay, that was my turn. Don't interrupt. And I'm done now, so go ahead.
I want to respond to you. When you saw the moon and the sun at the same time, did you see the moon clearly?
I could see the moon in my rear view mirrors, and I could see the sun up ahead of me because I was going west.
So you didn't see fucking lunar eclipse. You cannot see moon.
I saw it. It was a 2/3 eclipse.
Sun.
You can go to time and date, and you can confirm the times of the sunset and the moon rise in my area.
Not umbra. If you saw umbra, you
don't give me that garbage.
I'm telling you.
No, that would be a shadow, and the shadow would have to have something in between, and the Earth was definitely not between.
You wouldn't be able to see the moon during the blue hour.
Like through a whole sentence.
All right, now I gotta give a big shout out to Citizen9. Citizen9 hit me up on PayPal over here. Here's a tenner from me, bro. Hey, shout out to Citizen9. Thank you very much. I won't be here tomorrow as is my girlfriend's 60th birthday. Sorry, I won't be here, but I value my bollocks too much. Have a good one. Thank you very much. I'm happy that I share birthdays with your other half. Shout out to Citizen9 and happy birthday to her. And to me. Woo! Thank you, brother. Go ahead.
Gary, I'm guessing you don't have a photo of this? It's only just observation.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, you're gone, Moyak. Connection sucks. All right, let's try to kill a few more points. If you guys want to go back to the selenium, yeah, but let's try to touch on these ones. Let's dedicate a minute or two, a few minutes to each, if necessary. No specular highlight on the moon. Yesterday, we actually talked about this. Who was here yesterday? That we mentioned the specular highlight on the moon.
What's that exactly?
A specular highlight on the moon, like on the blue marble and the pictures of Earth, you can see like with the bright spot on the sun, like you can see brighter like a spot, and you don't see that on the moon.
Yeah, you don't see it.
Specular highlight.
No
Why?
fucking
Can you
water
explain
on
that?
Wait. Do we see the specular highlight on the land?
Nope.
On Earth.
You see reflections of the water.
No, but
On the
we
moon
see
and
it
of the
on land.
atmosphere. Yeah.
No, on land. Do we see it on land? Can we see picture of specular highlights on Earth on land?
I don't know. I don't recall. If anybody want to share one that you think is on land, share that. But I don't recall.
Well,
It's always on water.
In the animation in the time lapse I sent you, you can see the specular highlight.
On land, yes. All right, let me.
No, I don't know if on land. We can
let's
see if
see.
it's on land also.
Yeah. Okay, right here.
There's a balloon footage because I mean I've seen
This is
balloon
over
footage
water
and all
only.
of that always seems to go back to water.
Yeah, so you need to start more hours. Give it more minutes. How
Oh,
long
we
is
can
it?
do that. I didn't know. Okay. How do I do that? Faster animation. View next image.
Look more. More than
By the way,
12.
specular highlight should not be observer dependent. It should always, as long as you've got the closest point to the Earth of the Sun, you will see it, and it only appears where there's water.
Yeah, we don't
Right,
see it
we don't see it on land.
over land. No.
Believe
Yeah,
it
you
or
go.
not,
It started right here.
wait a minute, Mike.
Go
The
ahead.
specular highlight is not observer dependent, by the way. It is the angle between you, the surface tendency, and the highest luminosity object that you're looking at, much like a snooker ball. But what we're on about here is, yes, like Chalk is like alluding to, is on land. Believe it or not, the Earth, the translucency and reflectivity of plant life is a lot greater than that of the fucking desert or sand or dust. So therefore, anybody that can point at a very, very fucking dusty chalk snooker ball and say, hey, look at the specular highlights on that, you're a retard. You are all retards.
Thank you very much. Very well said. Yep. Very well said. All right. Next point. We got Polaris. What? Polaris?
You can't explain Polaris.
What do you mean? What do you mean explain Polaris?
I mean,
We're the only ones who got an
why?
explanation for Polaris.
Why Polaris?
Yeah, I don't have no fucking clue. These are questions by Nathan Thompson. He thinks that the Globers can't explain.
It's a yellow giant.
Yeah, that's
So,
funny. Can't
that's a
explain
star.
Polaris.
Star.
The fuck. Next.
Explain how a stove burns me.
Stars not intersecting the marine horizon. This is a new one. I don't even know what this means.
I've heard it a lot. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen what they're talking about.
Yeah. No. In this case, if I was one of those Globers that like, making points and teaching people how they're wrong, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I have no fucking clue what this is. So am I able to explain it? No, because I don't know about it.
Well,
I think I know what he means. I think he means like there's a no star set and star rise, something like that. I don't know.
All right, Shai, go ahead. You were gonna say.
Well, since stars are light point sources, you can't see them intersect. You either see them or you don't.
Which twinkle, remember, and are not in space.
Right. Essentially, what they're saying, though, is when you're looking at these point sources, there's a gap between them and the sky. Basically, the stars disappear prior to reaching the main horizon.
How do you know? How do you see the line if there's no light?
You can there's still light. You see the horizon at night.
Then maybe the light you saw overpowered the light you were looking at.
Yeah, Party of Furniture say that he think it means a shooting star coming up from the horizon, but that's not it. This is different because not intersecting have anything to do with like coming up or shooting stars. I think this is a different point.
But I think he forgot. He just said there are no stars in space.
Well, he don't think that this is the space where we see the stars. He probably think that that's something else, some realm of whatever bullshit he got in his mind.
I think he's saying that when you're up there, you can't see the stars. It's because you don't have an aperture on capitals and stuff like that.
We definitely can see it. Yeah.
And up on the balloon, it's black.
Yeah, because of the sensors on the cameras that has on the settings of the camera. It's as easy. Local light illumination at sunrise and sunset. I think this is like a kind of like local. It looks localized light. Like when you look at the sunset, it keep getting darker and darker. But if you either time lapse that or keep looking, it looks like kind of a dome type of thing, a circular type of thing, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything that indicates distance to me.
No, I that local light illumination at sunrise, sunset. I think what they mean is light scattering through the atmosphere, creating what you call radiosity light around you. That's actually indirect lighting. So even though the main light source has moved away in a direction and you may not see it, you've still got local lighting around you because of that atmospheric bounce and the radiosity. But what's interesting there is that point is more damning to flat Earth, even if you don't understand the bounce light and radiosity, because if the sun's fucked off so far that you can't see it, how are you still looking around at light?
It's a great point.
Well, the light of the sun can reach you, but you can't see it. That's the logic, I guess.
Wicked logic.
Very good, very good. Next point, we got into the end over here. Infrared photography and laser observations. You can't explain that? What do you mean?
I got a Sony camera where I removed the RGB filter and then put an IR cut filter over one of my lenses so that I can do infrared photography. So I can explain that.
Yeah, right.
Hold on, I found you an infrared photography which we can explain, but Nathan can't.
Great point. All right, and I think it's either the last one or the one to the last. Whoa, that was the last one. Very nice. That's the last one. Infrared photography or laser observation. All of these points were made by Nathan Thompson 2 days ago, which his main statement is, it's 2023 and globe lovers still can't explain. Cha, 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 cha. Now, because it was Nathan Thompson, I'm going to leave you with this. Just as an honor to him.
Some random guy just calls me and he goes, "Hey Nate, I got your number from one of your videos and I just want to let you know that I'm a longtime fan and I watch all your videos and all your streams and when you go on other people's channels and debate them." And he said, "I just want to thank you for all the years of making me laugh. Going through some things and I hope you're getting all the help you need." And then he just said goodbye, which is weird because most people who get my number off the internet try to talk to me for a half hour minimum. I had an 11-year-old kid call me the other day and he goes, "I got your number off your video and I'm a flat earther, but I told my dad that I don't think it's a globe because I didn't want him to start yelling at me." Oh man, dude.
What a tool.
You guys are great, dude. You guys are great. I had 2 people really help me with the van. I'm not even embarrassed to say it, I don't have a lot of money. But I love you guys. I'll see you all in Dallas, dude. Peace.
Ah, what a tool.
I get a
How
job.
about that? How about that? Thank you guys for entertaining this fucking silliness of the Thompson points. Here's a video shared over here by Teen of Gatti. Teen of Gatti. Very nice. I don't know what we're looking at, but it looks cool. Kind of time-lapse type.
You gotta start having
This
these shows
part
after
is
5.
interesting to see.
Yeah,
The
keep
marine
going.
life.
It was killing me. I couldn't answer any of the questions because I was at work and people would have looked at me funny.
Oh. Don Giovanni is complimenting Nathan for not breaking character. Sounds like he
That
actually
is-
believes his nonsense, man. Go ahead.
That is intersecting the sea.
You got
Looks
intersecting the sea?
Yeah, the marine life. The horizon, I think, is the sea. Actually, that looks like Canary Islands or some islands over there. Paloma Observatory, I think. No.
This is something that's said by flat earthers as if it's fact, but I've never seen it pictorially represented, saying, you know, see, it doesn't work here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you find out where is this from? Looks like Paloma Observatory, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Looks really cool. I think it's a compilation, like bunch of videos play
Wow.
one after another.
That's nice.
Looks like the fire
There
snake
was a
going through
green
the
flash.
mountains.
There was a green flash. The green flash.
Yeah, look at that distortion as it going through thickest layer of the atmosphere. I like it.
The green flash is another funny one. It's like they asked that one as if it's some kind of a flat Earth proof. It's like, well, you explained it on a flat Earth.
Actually, green flash is really easily explainable.
Green flash?
Yeah.
Distorted! I'm sorry. I got possessed by Brian for a second.
I figure it's the last
Green
light that can bend up over the horizon. It's green.
It's a beautiful video, this. If they will be without clouds, it will be even better.
Yeah, there you go. That's the location. Cerro
No,
Sololo, Inter-American Observatory in Chile.
Ah,
And La
in
Silla
Chile.
European Southern Observatory in Boston, North Shore, USA.
Maybe you can actually find those pictures from Paloma Observatory.
Yeah, if anybody
the-
want to share that, I'll present it. I just we're gonna look for a lot of that. Shout out to Mr. Victory. Hopefully as well. He came in late today, hanging out in the background. Shout out to everybody on YouTube land for watching today. Appreciate it. Let's stay a little bit longer. It's chilly over here, man. It's cold. It's got a little colder. It's down to 6 degrees Fahrenheit. 66 Fahrenheit. That makes it 17, 18 Celsius.
40. It's 48 here, man. Stop your whining.
Dude, 66 is cold, man. I got a sweater on, long sleeves, and the hands are cold.
I'm sleeping on my boat in the winter. Come on, man.
No, man, it's too cold. Too cold for comfort. Why does it have to be cold in the day before my birthday? I hope it's warm tomorrow.
66 was the room I was, the temperature I was keeping the room on the boat that I was on.
Oh hell no, man! I'll be sleeping with socks, long long johns and a long sleeve shirt.
You know, the heater was running full tilt, and that's all I could bring it up to.
Damn.
I could have closed the bathroom. That would have made the room a little bit smaller, but.
Well, Peter, wherever Peter G is 5 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 15 Celsius. That's cold. Yes. Very. Whew. Whatever the fuck you are, I don't want to be, man.
I don't start complaining about the cold till it gets into the 20s.
How about this GIF, this sunset animation?
Pretty.
See the flash right at the end? Poof. The last poof.
Whoop.
Very nice. So in that list, someone, I know there are lists around, but somebody make just a simple list like that of things that Flat Earther can't explain. It's 2023 and Flat Earther can't explain this.
Well, they can't explain why that huge light source over there, when it gets down to the horizon, isn't creating a reflection on the beautiful flat water below that is equal to the visible part.
Oh,
Let's try and
amen.
explain that fucking thing.
Amen to that. I haven't thought of that.
You know what produced that? A curved water surface.
Yeah, they complain. They say like, look, when the sun is up, look at the highlight, the sunlight like coming to your feet, and it's straight. It's not curved. They say. But what happened when the sun is close to the horizon? That it just stop reflecting that light down to your feet. Why? When it's still over flat, quote unquote flat water.
Yeah, I think
Very good.
What I'll do, Jose, is I'll build two examples. I'll build a flat one and a curved one and see which matches reality, shall we?
Dude, very good, man. I like that. I haven't thought of that, and that's a great, simple point to visualize and understand. Yeah. Fucking A.
It's simply answered.
How can you answer that?
Oh, God. The top half of your eye and the bottom half of your eye squishing, the bottom of the earth's sucking.
Lemon optics, I love it. Squishing. I haven't heard squishing in a long time.
Not since Lemon died.
Died? Don't you tell me that.
Oh, okay.
We can't. We don't know. He disappeared
No,
with
yeah.
authority.
No, man, that freaked me out. That's why I say I have to say at least every other week. Wherever Lemon is, I wish him the best of luck. Hopefully he is healthy and he's all right. That's all I have to say about that. I don't know. Nobody knows.
He thought the bitter apricot seeds were almonds, and he ate 50 of them.
I thought he got in a car accident since he never wore a seatbelt.
It was a lot of flirting and driving. It's not healthy. Very dangerous.
But no idea if anything happened or whether he just saw the light and decided this wasn't a fun game. But he was so into the game, it's kind of hard to believe that.
Yeah. Shout out to all the amazing people on Discord. Stingray, Leel, Nestle Wipes, Pain as a Shield, No Thanks, Mr. Malord, Mojok Man, M Stone, Lubo in China, J Mac, Gary Waibenga, Chucky Bradboy, Chaik, Carl Christopherson, and Brufus. And also Flip Flop is in the house. Shout out to everybody. Thank you.
I posted a video on chat on Discord. The star setting into the sea. We can play it at 640, 642.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Let me pause here.
642.
Let me get it all set.
There's some music, so you may mute it.
Yeah, it's muted. Start playing at 642.
40?
Or,
Yeah.
I figured it was, mostly because, the point sources of light, as they get down into the most disturbed area of the atmosphere, they just become blurry and indistinct.
No, it's mostly about the light pollution and haze. And so the light pollution is a big factor. Like you see, the haze, they will disappear, but light pollution basically makes the horizon very bright from cities in distance. And you can see there's a sea, and they're getting into the sea.
Yeah.
Oh, Milky Way.
I want to give a shout out to Patio Furniture. He's coming to Florida to see Mickey Mouse over here. We're here for a few days. I am hours away. That's in Central Florida, in the center, and I'm in the West Coast. It's, I say, 3 hours, 3.5 hours away, so it's quite far. I mean, I call that far, yeah. It's very nice, Lugo. Nice video. I don't want to play too much. Hopefully we don't get in trouble. Time-lapse footage by other channels. Boom.
I don't know, since Gary was kind of just screaming up and pitching a fit at the time, but I think somebody did give a reasonable answer, or at least a question regarding his observation of the moon. There's the penumbra and the umbra. I mean, the total eclipse only lasts a very short duration. There's precursor eclipse that happens in the penumbra. I think the earlier one.
He didn't see the total eclipse part.
Right.
No, I mean he could have seen it, but not while both the sun and the moon are out.
Are these guys conflating the lunar and solar eclipses again?
No, it's the selenial eclipse that they're most interested in right now, or selenial.
Yeah.
And the fact that the moon starts to be obscured by the Earth, many degrees in the atmosphere when it's up, because what is it, like almost is it 2 or 5 degrees the Earth is shadowing?
It's refraction, though.
But his problem with the refraction is he's seeing it about more than a degree above the horizon, and that would be difficult to see. But I'm not sure what he saw. If he's seen the penumbra, or whatever the fucking early part of the eclipse is, then that's perfectly understandable. You would see that. It's going to happen 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees above the horizon.
Well, the thing about it is I would like a flat earther to explain to me how the regular eclipse works. I mean, the normal everyday eclipse, and worry about this, the selenelian eclipse later. They can't even explain the normal eclipse, let alone this part. They say, well, look at this. This means
I got it. I got the answer. I got the answer that Gary Webenga gave earlier. Well, I can't explain it to you. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I know it's not the way you say it is. It's not. It doesn't work the way you say. There you go. That's Frat Earther's
Well,
answer.
of course, because you can see both the sun and the moon. The Earth is not in between them.
It is.
Did I say right, Gary? I mean, was
I don't
that a
care
correct
what
answer?
you guys cry about, how you cry refraction like a parrot.
Gary,
Doesn't
hold
matter.
on quickly. Hold on, NASA. Gary, what I say was correct. Your answer will be, I cannot explain it to you. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's definitely not the way that you guys explain it. That's fair, right?
Yeah. No, that's fair because
you
gave an explanation, except for your explanation is ridiculous.
There
It's
you go.
just
That's all
not
I say.
true.
That it was your representation of,
I could make up something just like you guys do. I can just make up something.
Well, then make up something to explain the normal eclipse, Gary. Come on.
I don't have to. Well, that would be ridiculous. I don't have to.
How does the normal eclipse work on the flat Earth? Why does it get?
I don't know.
You don't.
But I know the selenelian definitely proves that it's not the Earth shadow.
This is the typical flat Earth. I don't know what it is, but it's not what everybody else says it is. But I don't know what it is.
But then the typical globe, he just cries refraction like a parrot.
Yeah, it's refraction. If you understood refraction at all, it would help.
Gary,
refraction and gravity are your guys' duct tape and baling wire.
NASA, don't interrupt. Mojok, don't interrupt. Lugo, NASA, and Mojok interrupted Gary's statement. I know you guys want to jump in. I want to go in first, but you have to allow people to finish the statement. Gary, don't go crazy and long-winded because we're trying to have short back and forth between everybody.
I already said everything I needed to say.
Perfect.
You
Go ahead.
you can give an explanation and say it's refraction, but it's complete bullshit. You can't prove that. It's just speculation. They think they can imitate it by pouring a butane or a nitrogen or something on a concrete floor and then make waves or whatever in the picture. But you cannot demonstrate that on the actual sun or moon. And they were well above the horizons on both sides of me, where I could see them 2/3 eclipse. About a few minutes later, when I got to a place where I could pull off the highway, it was fully eclipsed by that time.
All right.
By that time, you couldn't see.
I thought you were done. Like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, well, that took like 30 seconds.
No, that was 2 minutes. Now we got Peinasa, then Lubo. Peinasa, then Lubo, and then Moyok. I heard he was going to say something. Go ahead.
Well,
No
everything Gary just said is wrong. We know about refraction. We've measured refraction. We spend a lot of time measuring refraction so we can correct for it. As for gravity, we know that gravity's real. We've measured it. Blue redid basically redid the original Cavendish experiment at 2/3 scale. We know it. We've measured it. So I don't know what your problem is, Gary, except that you're well into the flat Earth.
All right,
it's
Lubo.
not
Hold on, Gary, hold on. Now Lubo, and then Moyok, if you want to say something, and then you again. Go ahead, Lubo.
Yeah, you just said that you don't want to make bullshit about what causes the eclipses, but you made bullshit about the sunsets already. So don't tell me you don't want to make a bullshit. You're bullshitting about sunsets for how many years?
What did I say about the sunset?
All right,
What
Moyok
causes the
man,
sunsets?
you don't ask me a question because after you, Lubo, Moyok man turn.
All right, so you have our Earth is approximately 2 degrees from the moon. So first off, right there, total eclipse can span 2 degrees. So it can be much higher than the horizon and still be in a partial eclipse. Then you have the penumbra and umbra problem, which will happen 5, 6, 7 degrees. I don't know how far that is.
All right, Gary. All right, any point that you want to of those three?
Yeah, they're not problems at all. The sun has a direct line of sight to the moon. When I saw it 2/3 eclipse, there is no Earth in between. I can literally look at them both. They're both upward on an upward angle from where I'm at, which I would be between them in a lunar eclipse, right? They're at opposite ends. I would be in between them, which means I'm on the high point of the Earth in between them. I'm looking at an upward angle to each, and it was 2/3 eclipsed as I was driving down the road. I could see the moon in my mirrors and my rearview mirrors, and I could see the sun directly ahead of me. It's not refracted that high up. I'm sorry. It's just a bullshit answer that you guys give, and then you expect everybody to believe it like a bunch of monkeys.
Well, that's exactly the answer. Okay.
All right, let's get. There's a bunch of people up. I was gonna let Earth is Life to jump in for a second, but he dropped, probably busy. NASA, go ahead.
Well, you have the answer, and we can measure refraction. I mean, the fact that you say no to refraction says a ton. I mean, you can't. So if that's not the way it works, how does it work on the flat Earth? By the way, how does the sun? How does the moon get eclipsed on the flat Earth when they're both 3,000 miles up? Nobody can explain that on the flat Earth other than to invoke some sort of magical lemon,
You mean magical like refraction up to a degree on each side? Sorry.
Refraction is not magical. It's a physical thing.
It's magical. It doesn't do what you say it does.
Actually,
it's not
it does
that
exactly
extreme. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And
does.
if you expect me to just go, oh, you're so correct, you're crazy.
Well, I know because you're high in the
flat earthers believe crazy stuff, but you guys believe even crazier stuff.
No, because we can measure refraction. We spend a lot of time measuring refraction.
Measure the refraction of the sun. You just give something that you make up in some mathematical equation to try to explain away why we can see both the sun and the moon on a Selenian eclipse. And you expect everybody to believe it. And most people are like a bunch of monkeys and believe everything.
Explain how the normal eclipse works on the flat Earth, where both the sun and the moon.
I don't have to explain how it works, but you can explain a Selenian in an actual manner that makes sense, that everybody can really look at and say, "Oh, yes, that's got to be."
Can you explain? Can you tell us what casts the shadow on the moon during the eclipse?
Well, in the Selenelian, I don't know. And
No, any eclipse, any eclipse.
I don't have to. I have an idea, but I'm not going to say it yet. I'm not ready to say it. But I think I have a pretty good clue what it is, and it would be something I've never heard anybody else say.
Gary, when would you be ready?
Well, when I'm ready, and if I got to look at it. But one thing I do know it isn't is the Earth's shadow, because the Earth is. I'm on the top of the Earth, in between the sun and the moon. If you take that as a globe, right, that I'm at the high point because they're at opposite ends. So that means I'm at the high point in between, and I'm looking at upward angles to each. There was no Earth in between them. You can literally draw a line in the sky from that to that, the sun to the moon, and they have a direct line of sight to each other. And yet it was 2/3 eclipse. So I don't know what it is, neither do you. And it's not refraction.
How do
you guys can claim it all you want, buy it all you want. You can say it over and over and over again, but it'll never make it true.
How do you know it's a direct line of sight? Well, it's a direct line of sight. How do you know it's
see
straight?
them both above your? You see them both above the horizons, with both horizons of. I have hills. I got mountains on both sides of me. I got on the east and on the west. I got a coastal range and I got the Sierra Nevadas. They were both above the mountain ranges. The moon was above the Sierra Nevadas. The sun was over the coastal range, and you can see them both, which means they're higher than me, right? They're higher in an elevation than I am.
No. That means that you, not the sun and the moon, that you can see the sun and the moon. How do you know that straight line of that line is straight?
Because I can see them both and draw a straight line across the sky to them, above my head. That line would go over my head. I would go to the one, draw the line all the way across the sky, touch the other.
How do you know you can draw
line of sight?
How do you know you can draw a direct line, a straight line
Because
between
I have
them?
eyes and I can see. I'm not like a Globie who just denies the obvious.
How do you know you can draw a line between them that
Because
you
you can see them both. They're both well above your head.
Again, Larry?
Let me hear
That's
the full
lying to
question.
you.
Yeah.
That's
It's
lying
not Larry,
to
it's
you.
Jerry.
Let me hear the full question, Gary.
That's one line to you and then another straight line to you that you claim. But how do you know that two straight lines lie on the same straight line that are between the sun and the moon?
I have an angle to the sun that's upwards. I have an angle to the moon that's upwards. Now you can see them both, and you can literally draw a line across your sky from one to the other, and that line would cross over your head.
Have you confirmed?
really?
Have you confirmed they're both above you?
Yes, I have mountain ranges on each side of me, and they were above the mountain ranges. I don't know how to tell you that it can't be higher if it's above the mountain ranges.
Well,
that's what you want to think, and that's your problem.
Because
it's a big problem for you guys, and that's why you guys will keep on repeating the same garbage over and over and over again, expecting everybody to believe it.
Gary, you can shut up after you made your point, because
Keep
I
going.
know
Yeah,
you
go
asked
ahead.
a question. You asked a question, then I answer you, because I know, maybe you don't, but I know that mountain ranges that are aside of me can be higher mountains than me and still be below my horizontal. So how do you know?
Oh my gosh, that's because you're a Globie and you believe bullshit. That's so
I
stupid.
don't believe. I showed
Talk about
you
that's like one of the all-time dumbest things I've heard.
I showed you
It's
the
obvious
pictures.
the
I
mountains are higher than
analyzed
me. That it's obvious that mountains on both sides are higher than me, and it was obvious that the moon and the sun were above both of them.
I
They're
showed
both
you the
above me. I
pictures.
could literally take an elevation angle that would
You
go
don't
upward
stop
on each
talking,
side.
Gary. You don't stop talking. I showed you the picture. I analyzed it. I showed you how do I know that these mountains that are above me, higher than me, are below my line of sight. A way you
They're
can't
not below my line
deny.
of sight.
Below.
I can literally take a level. I can literally level a camera and zoom in, and they would both be above my line of
I
sight.
showed you a picture, Gary. I showed you a picture that proved clearly that the mountain in the distance is below your line of sight, below your horizontal.
Below my line of
Well,
sight. That's too
it's
much.
below-
This is why.
below-
This is why it's ridiculous to
it's
argue with a
below-
guy like Chaiki.
it's
He won't
below-
believe his own eyes what you can actually see.
below.
This is what typical
Look
Globies
how many
do.
times I need to repeat
Typical
myself, Gary,
Globies just
because
deny
you
reality.
say
They
nothing.
believe a bunch of bullshit,
Because
and they
you
keep on
say
trying the
nothing
same things
over me,
over and
Gary.
over again, expecting everybody to
So,
believe it.
Gary,
The emperor has no clothes. The emperor is buck naked.
the mountain that is higher than the observer looks below the observer.
No, it doesn't.
Well, let's go over it again, Gary, and you can keep eyeing again.
Well, you can keep saying otherwise. It doesn't matter because it's ridiculous. You're just going to make up the same bullshit over and over again. You know, just repeating it doesn't make it true. And that's
I'm
what you
not
keep doing.
making the
Oh, the
bullshit.
models
You're
are
in the flat
lower
earth.
than me. I'm
So
sorry, they're not.
here's the picture, Gary. Can you see the picture?
I can't
Or are
see the
you
picture
driving?
now.
No, you can't see the picture. So in the
No,
picture
if I
we
put it
see a
on there, it'll
tower.
just stop.
In the picture we see a tower that is known to be
I don't
below
care
the
about the
observer.
tower. We're talking about
Gary,
mountain
I'm still
ranges
talking.
and a
Do you
Selenelli and a cliff
realize
that
I'm
is way
still
above.
talking,
Okay,
Gary?
Jackie, I'm not even going with your tower thing. It's a joke.
Don't go. Just shut your
Bye,
mouth.
Jackie.
Nobody.
Bye, Jackie. I'm done
Gary.
with you. Mountain
Bye,
ranges on
Gary.
both sides of me are well above my eye
Gary,
level. And
Jose,
the moon and the sun are
Jose,
well above
you
them.
let him talk over me
You
like
can just
this.
make up whatever
He
you
said
want,
he's
Chaiki. It
done
doesn't
with me
matter.
and he's still talking
I'm done
over
with
me.
you, Chaiki.
So shut the fuck up. You're done with me. So in the picture, we see a tower which is below the observer. So we know definitely the observer is looking down to it. Yet in the distance, there is a mountain that is higher than the observer. However, it's lower than the tower, so we know the observer is looking down to that mountain in the distance. So
Hey, Rich.
you don't know that if the mountain is the distance, you're looking up to it, Gary. You have no clue. You didn't measure it.
Well, mountains have to be up because they're on the flat Earth, right? And mountains are higher, therefore they're up.
Right? Obviously. But I have a picture that says otherwise.
Well, Gary's heavy into the I don't know what it is, but it's not what you say it is. But I don't know what it is. Did I go deaf?
I got another one. There's a water over the mountain, so it means
Sorry.
that having your lunch.
Sorry about that. I was away from the keyboard for a minute. I was tasting a piece of pork chop that I haven't eaten after the show. I can't wait. A feast. Simple pork chop, white rice, and red beans. Fucking simple, man. Yeah, that's heavy dinner, man. Solid.
Did you put all the correct spices on it?
Yep. And tomorrow I got a rack of ribs for tomorrow to celebrate my birthday. Eating like ribs that will just come out of the bone, clean bone come out with barbecue sauce. I'll do it. I'll do the ribs. I do it. I just cut them like the big raw ribs raw. I just cut it by the by the little ribs. Cut. Throw it in a pot to boil for a while. Boil. And when it's like ready, when I pull like the bone almost come out, then I put it all in a pan, season it really well seasoned, and I throw it in the oven, little baking oven, and I will crisp it up, because it's already cooked, but not crisp it up and absorb all the seasoning. And then when it's before I flip it, then I throw barbecue sauce in the other side, and then just put it in. I don't know. It's just a little process I learned, and it just did. When you pull it out, when you grab the bone, like the actual meat just stay in the plate. Like it's so soft and good, delish. That's the way I figured it out. How to do. It's good. Birds aren't animals, says Gary.
What?
Birds aren't animals, nor insects aren't animals, or fish aren't animals.
Oh, God.
Maybe dogs and cats are animals. Maybe, like, you know. I don't think he mentioned crustaceous. Yeah, I don't think those are animals in Gary's eyes either.
Those are probably just fish. They live in the ocean.
Yeah.
Fish.
Probably something else. Shell creatures, but not animals.
Apparently, for Lent in the Catholic Lent down in South America, you can eat capybara because they spend so much time in the water. They're considered fish.
Really? Wow.
Along with beavers. So if you want.
But those are like big rodents. Pretty
Yeah,
much
they're like
rodents.
big 60-pound guinea pigs. Yeah.
Oh. That's rough.
So apparently the distinction is aquatic versus land, not fish versus animal.
Mm.
Anyway, I found it interesting.
Any meat, if it's well made, I think is edible.
Anyway, I don't think Gary understood the point of what I was saying about he wouldn't be able to see the lunar eclipse if it was full eclipse because it will be just too dark to see during the daylight.
Shout out to Earth is Life. Good to see you, brother. Capybara is rodent, says Patio Furniture. You see? No, it's a big ass rodent.
I mean, Gary's
That's
funny.
a good.
He comes here, spits his bullshit, and then he doesn't want to listen to others. He just run away.
That's quite a good point. Yeah. How can you see a full Selenian eclipse if the sun is out?
I tried it. I tried to see Selenilian, but I just because it was true Selenilian, I couldn't. I was not able to see the moon because it was just too dark compared to the blue sky. So
Right.
I didn't see the moon, and I tried, and I was able to find out the moon, where was actually the moon located after the sun set, and
Well,
it got
maybe
dark enough.
maybe if you had a camera and you overexpose the blue, maybe you could see part of the moon.
Yeah, you would need a P900 or a P1000 for sure.
No,
I had my
they
telescope
won't.
out. I had
No,
my telescope out with my.
No, you want a
Yeah.
telescope. You need a P900 or a P1000. They see flat Earth things apparently.
Remember, everybody in YouTube chat box, we insult each other over here. Yes, we just go at each other's throat and we just attack each other and we make fun of each other and call each other retards and all that kind of shit. Don't bring anybody from the outside. Don't bring outsiders. Don't bring family members. Don't bring wives or sons or kids or family. Don't do that. Not in this channel. We go after each other here. Thank you very much. And that makes sense. I mean, right? We are here engaging with each other, so we are allowed to insult each other, but there's no need to bring outsiders like family members into this. Thank you very much. It hasn't happened today, but it's getting a little close to it, so let's try not to do it. Over there in the chat box.
On the other side, what really pisses me off that they teach flat earth their children, you know. That's like lying to your own children. What will they grow up to, you know?
You know what? I'm sure Gary does not lie to his children or his grandchildren. I'm sure that he
But his
doesn't. He
girlfriend.
keeps it to himself. He doesn't spread it on the family, unlike other people we know.
Yeah.
He's very sure the earth is flat, but not sure enough to tell it to his family.
Let me ask.
My
hold on,
family
Gary.
knows.
Hold on, Gary. Before you go, M Stone has been sitting here. He doesn't speak a lot. M Stone, hopefully you can give me a minute and give me your thoughts on what you heard earlier. Nathan Thompson attempting to still be relevant. What are your thoughts on those points and what we analyzed?
To be honest, I don't think I heard him. I was probably in Geos listening to the derp over there.
All right. I mean, he didn't speak. I just brought a point. He made a list of things that
his list
Roberts
of,
can't explain. You know, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been debunked for a while now. I don't know.
That's
At this
same
point, I
bullshit.
think it's a mental illness, man. I think these people don't need to be debated. I think they honestly need to be just examined.
Ouch, Gary, did that hit you personally?
No, I think the same thing about you guys. So
Except we have evidence.
That's fair enough, Gary. But you know,
anybody who can believe a selenelian is caused by refraction's got to be nuts. So
Well, how do you explain it then, Gary?
I mean,
I don't have to explain it. I just know it's not what you say.
I don't know what it is, but I know it's
The
not. what
evidence
you
is
say it
quite
is.
clear. The evidence is clear.
Brock,
It's
What
there for
evidence?
everybody to see. Anybody
What
can see
evidence?
it.
Brock.
The evidence is the moon and the sun are both well above the horizon, and you can see
But
the eclipse happening.
again, you didn't.
Once
you
again,
didn't
they're not
show.
downward, Chaiki.
You
No
claim.
matter what you
claim they're
say.
above the
That's why I
horizon.
left, because I don't want to
Ouch,
argue
here we
with
go again.
Chaiki. I'm not going to go with Chaiki. I'm not even going to
No one
entertain
said they are
anymore.
not above the horizon. The
No,
question was,
okay,
was
Chaiki.
it
In your
above
imaginary
your eye
world,
level?
that's what it is.
Don't make me bring the shit show imagery again. Come on.
Okay, if you don't want to listen to Chaiki, will you listen to me, Gary?
Definitely.
no.
I'll talk to you. You're more reasonable. Chaiki's just an
Okay.
idiot.
Okay, Gary, how much would sun need to refract if you're in Australia during the Australian summer and you look at the sunrise and sunset? How much would sun need to refract to be in the position where you look at sunrise and sunset? Tell me.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
I got a
Go
quick
to
question.
Australia.
What's
Hold on,
that
Lobo,
got to do with the
before we go.
selenelian?
Yeah. Before we go, Gary, I know it's. Can you take a quick peek at the screen, really quick? Either my stream.
I have to go back to YouTube because I just keep losing. I'm outside by my pool.
Okay,
And,
take it.
I keep
quick
if I
look at
watch the
YouTube.
stream on
Alright.
Discord, it just starts. Everything
Lagging,
starts
yeah.
roboting.
Take a quick look at YouTube because the image should be up. I mean, it catches up in like 15 or 20 seconds, so you should have it. Just a quick look so you know the image that I have on, and I got a split, half image in the left, half image on the right, and we would like to know which image is more refracted. Which image you think is more refracted in these two, split half left and right. I see this from it's a image that you've been running around for a while. And we'll just from your perspective, no pun intended, understanding which one will be more refracted.
I don't. Which picture are you looking at? I don't know if I'm caught up with you guys or not.
In the YouTube, the only image that is on screen is
I'm on YouTube, but I don't know what are you looking at?
oil rig image.
I don't see an oil rig.
Is it all the way forward? Yeah, I mean, I'm watching YouTube.
I
You
got
got
as far as I can get my thing to slide over, but it won't.
All you got to do is watch.
Go live.
No, he can't. Yeah, he can't.
I see a
slide over.
picture of crosshairs with the sun. That's all I see.
No. Double click or triple click, like fast forward. Click in the, do the skip forward thing. It should be caught up because I'm watching I'm watching my screen on the YouTube in the side, and it should already be caught up. And it got the big letters in the bottom. Which image is more refracted? Hopefully you're already caught up.
Are you there?
Yeah. We hear. You see it?
Oh yeah, you're talking about the oil rigs?
Yes.
What do you want to know about them?
Which image is more refracted? Left or right?
Well, you could take the one on the right, but if you back off the zoom, will you even notice it? No, because it's insignificant.
But
the only reason you even see that bent, the only reason you even see the things looking squiggly and bent is because it's very tiny in your field of view. The only reason you see this is because you zoomed in on it.
Yeah,
you back up the zoom and get it to normal view, and you don't even see any of that. It doesn't.
We're zooming, looking at it. Let's not back up because we are looking at it. Which one is more refracted?
Yeah, I said the one's more refracted, obviously.
Yeah, the right. Yeah.
Just like I get days here where I can look at buildings and they're nice and clean and straight lines, and then I can look at some days where there's more heat and they're all squiggly.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the right is more refracted.
Things far in the distance, you're not even going to notice it unless you zoom in. It's just basically going to disappear with your normal view.
But a question like
notice.
But a simple
Which means
question
the
like
sun is never going to refract a degree
Let
or
me say
more
my
up
point.
into the air over the mountains.
5 seconds to say my point. 5 seconds. But it definitely, to be fair, the one in the right is more refracted 100% of the times. Yes, thank you. That's it. Let me answer. I think you agree with me that.
Okay, I would like to go back.
Well, I don't even know if it's
Original question.
refracted in the way you guys think of it.
Gary, so
Yes,
if
go
you
ahead.
are in Australia during the summer, you will see sunrise on
Wait, am I behind now?
southeast, and you will see sunset in southwest. How much refraction would you need to it happen on a flat Earth?
To see the sun in the southwest?
Sunset.
Yeah, I wouldn't need any refraction.
No,
It's
but
just,
you
I
still
see it in south. I see it set south. South of west is just south of the equator. 90 degrees is east, right?
You said sun goes around the Polaris, so they will need to look northwest, not southwest. Do you understand my question?
No, the southwest is still making. It's just making a big circle. It's just where you see the sun is just the sun direction.
If you are
It sets in the southwest in your summer. It sets in the southwest, and it rises in the south of east. South of east or south of west, which just means south of the equator.
In Australia, sunset.
Yeah, and where are you south of the? Are you south of Capricorn?
Did you know Australia?
Yup.
Yeah,
South
well,
of Capricorn.
not all Australia is south of Capricorn. Where are you? Are you south of Capricorn in Australia?
I'm not in Australia. If you are south, for example, at Sydney.
Then why are you asking questions about Australia?
Because that disproves the flat Earth. Your dreamy flat Earth.
Doesn't.
If you are in the Sydney in the middle of the summer and look where is the sunrise or sunset, it's always in the south. It's not even close to the north.
It's over Capricorn, that would be south of the equator, south of 90, which means you're going to have it's south of east.
Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney and Melbourne are both south. They're both south of Capricorn, and the sun passes by to their north.
Yeah, so they for sunset they would need to look north, not
No,
south.
you don't look north. You would look towards the east, and it would be south of east because it's not directly east. It's over the Tropic of Capricorn.
Degrees of refraction. You are
This
complaining
is very
about 1
easy.
degree of refraction because
It's not refracted at all. It has nothing to do with refraction.
And you are completely ignoring refraction that would need to occur if you would be in the south of Australia and look at sunrise or sunset. You're just
you're just looking at the direction where you see the sun coming around the circle. That would be the nearest point. That's why if you draw that line, if it gives you the degree that you would aim at, where the sun rises at whatever degree it's rising on that day, but it would be about 121 or something like that, 122, somewhere around there. So you would basically, that's the direction you're looking, and if you went a straight line that direction, it would take you to over the Tropic of Capricorn to the subsolar point of the sun over Capricorn. Yes, which is a northerly. It's north of Sydney and Melbourne.
Bring any flat Earth map, and it will not work on any flat Earth map.
That's exactly what I'm saying on a flat Earth map. The equator is in between Capricorn and Cancer. If the equator is 90, Capricorn would be about 120 or 21 or something like that. And wait, that's not quite right. Capricorn would be about 120 or 121, something like that.
Gary, here's a great idea. Why don't you make us a rubber band model of this sunset of yours, and we would see exactly why it's set in the south, where it's north to you.
It's not setting in the south. Are you ever looking south of your? If you're in Sydney or Australia, are you ever looking south to see the sun?
South to the east, yes.
South of the east is not south.
Yes.
No, south of the east is just the sun direction you look. It's not pure east. It's not 90 degrees like it is on the
equinox. So you deny reality now. Go to Diamond Date.
That is reality. That's exactly what we see. Where is east to you? Is it at 90 or is it at 120?
East is east. It's 90 degrees to north.
What degree would you point at to east?
90 degrees to north.
That's right. And where would the south of east be? South of east is just something that's south of 90.
More than 90 degrees to the north.
Okay, 90 is east, right? Due east. That's what we see on the
100,
equinox,
100
right?
is south to the east.
What?
100 is south to the east, right?
Yeah, well, anywhere that's basically anywhere that's over 90, that's like 91 or 92
Great,
is south
great.
of
So
east.
why do they look more than 90 degrees south to the east? Yes, 100
Because
or
that's
whatever
exactly what I'm
it
saying.
is.
South of east is not south. You never look south if you're in Melbourne or Sydney. You
That's
never
what
look south
you
to
know
see
this
the
for a fact.
sun.
You know
If you
this for a fact.
it's not going to be in south of
You
you.
know, and if we put diamonddate.com and it says that you do see it rising south to the east.
It rises south of east, and you're in December in Australia. It rises, and it does it here too. I'm up in the north, but I see it. I see it rise south of east.
That's not.
You don't just see it south of east from Melbourne or from Australia. I see it south of east from where I'm at.
I know, but that makes sense on where you live, more or less.
It makes sense.
But
No,
it makes
sense
no
on a circle
sense.
Earth.
No, it makes no sense to people who
It
live
makes perfect
south
sense.
to Capricorn.
No, and you don't see it south of Capricorn. You see it at the sun direction is the direction. That's the direction you look to see the sun.
I
right?
want a rubber
South
band
of east is not
demonstration.
south. South
want
of
a
east is
rubber-
not south. East
What do
is
you mean
east,
it's
south is south, west is west, north is north.
I know.
South of
Why
east
do you
is
see
just
it?
not due east.
Why
It's
do
a
you
little
see-
bit south of east.
I understand this. So why do they look south to the east when the sun is north to the east? Can you explain this to us?
No, the sun is still north of you because Capricorn is north of Sydney and Melbourne.
I know. So
you're
why do they
looking
look?
more north than where your latitude is if you're in Melbourne or Sydney. You're looking at a latitude that is more north. The subsolar point of the sun over Capricorn will always be over Capricorn all day long at some point. Wherever it is during the day or that wherever in that 24-hour period the sun happens to be overhead, it's overhead on the Tropic of Capricorn.
Is that accurate, guys?
always north. Tropic of Capricorn
Why
is
you don't
north
address
of
the-
Sydney and Australia's latitude.
Why don't you address the question? So why do
That
they
is
look
addressing the question.
south to the east when the sun is rising?
Because south of east is just south. It's not 90 degrees. It's,
what
it's
not
120 degrees.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
south of east. It's not south.
I didn't say
180
south.
degrees is south.
I didn't say
180
south.
degrees would be south,
My
right?
question was, Gary,
Which is closer to
why are you
east
still
than
talking? Why are you
is it
still
closer to
talking?
east or is it closer to south?
Why are you still talking?
Because I'm answering your
why do
question.
they look south to the east when the sun is north to them? North to
Because the south of east is south of the equator. It's not south of Sydney. Sydney has a
What do you
latitude,
mean
right?
it is
Melbourne has a
90
latitude.
degrees?
Are those latitudes more
If
south
you-
than the latitude of Capricorn?
If you establish your north in Sydney and you take 90 degrees, that's east, and 120 degrees, it's 10 degrees or 12, 12 degrees
About 30
more.
degrees.
Then this, why do they look south to the east? Why would they look even
Because
east?
it's not
ever?
due east. It's not over the equator. The
I
equator is
didn't
90.
say. Well, it's more
Okay,
than
I'm
due
answering
east.
your question, Chaiki. You just don't like it. I'm sorry, but it blows
No, you don't
globe out
answer
of the. It blows your whole thing about
The
south
sun
of
is
west and south of
wondering.
east being a problem for the flat Earth.
The
It's
sun-
not a problem at all. In fact, it's what we expect.
It's a big problem. The
No,
sun
it isn't. It's
is
just sun
somewhere.
direction. I
The
look
sun-
south of east in December. I look south of east to see the
but
sunrise.
you're
I look
north-
south of
but
west
you're
to
north.
see the sunset.
But you are north to both Capricorn and Cancer.
And by the way, they're south of me any direction I look because I
tell
am
me,
north of
So
all of those,
why
right?
Why
Why
you
does the
look
sun
north?
pass by to your north, Chaiki? Because it is north of you. If you're
What
in
do you
Australia
mean?
or if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, I specify those because they're south
Yes,
of
it
Capricorn.
does pass north to you. So why does it?
Yes,
Why
it's
does it
always north.
rise? Why does it rise?
Capricorn, even on your globe, Capricorn is north of the latitude that
I
Sydney is on
know,
or
I
Melbourne is
know,
on.
I know.
Which means the sun is always north of you.
So, I know,
But the
Gary. So
direction that you
why
would
does it,
point,
if
that's
they're
called
not,
south of east,
you
is
keep
just
talking,
something that's
Gary,
not
you
90.
don't
It's more than
Gary,
90.
you keep talking, you're in preaching mode. I'm asking you, so since you established that the sun is always north to you, not at the north, but north to you, north to your east, why do they see it rise south to the east?
You didn't make any
Can I
sense
add
there,
one bit of
Taiki.
complexity to this, Gary? Also,
The
there's
sun is
16
never
hours
north
of
of you,
daylight.
Taiki.
There's 16 hours of daylight, which means that the sun is also traversing around the Tropic of Capricorn and getting further north at sunrise and sunset. So it's actually like it's almost 100 degrees off from where it should be.
You know, if you go to time and date, like when the sun is over Capricorn, I can look at when it's setting, and it'll give me a south of west direction. But if I keep following that, you would look to see the sun, right? That's the direction you look to see the sun. Now, if I keep watching time and date as the minutes go by, it keeps moving more towards the 270 mark, and it goes, which means it's moving more and more northward, going around the circle. It's just the direction you look. It's just still south of west, but it's my sun direction would be looking more and more to see that point. I would have to look.
Actually, it'd be most
Obviously, I couldn't see it.
north at noon. So you're kind of wrong on that.
No.
Furthest north you'll
I'm
see
talking
it,
about
and-
the direction I would have to look to see the sun.
Right. The
sun is
furthest
always
north would
south
be
of
at
me.
noon.
It's never north of me. But it is. But the sun direction I would look. You gotta think of it as how they're pointing it out. It's sun direction. It's not where the sun is in the sense that it's south of you in Australia. It's not. It's always north
sun
of you.
direction, but not where it is.
It's north of you, but the sun direction would be south of east or south of west when it sets or rises.
Why would it be
Because
north
of
of east?
refraction.
How
I
can it
mean,
be?
like refraction causes that, yes.
Refraction has nothing to do with that.
How can it even
So-
appear
so what
south of you?
causes
But
that?
how can it?
Lobo, you're too
Because
advanced.
south of east is not south of Melbourne or Sydney.
What do you mean not south?
Sydney and Melbourne are both on latitudes that are south of the latitude Capricorn is, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay,
How's
so
the
if it's
sun appear
going
to be
around
south of you?
overhead on that, it can never be south of you.
He can't be
But
this
it
stupid.
is.
But yet
He
you can
really
see
can't
it.
be.
This
Simon,
is very
He can't be this
easy.
stupid.
Get your
No,
ass
this
no
is
way he
very
can be this
easy. That's
stupid.
what I think about you guys. How can you be
It
so
can't
dumb?
be. Look,
Get
it
your ass to
can't be,
Australia,
Gary.
Draw a line on your globe. You cannot draw a line going southward
Yes,
with
you
the,
can.
with
Yes, you
the sun
can.
over
Yes, you can.
Capricorn. No,
That's
you
actually
can't.
a prediction
You
of
can't
the
do it on a
globe.
flat Earth. It works on the globe,
I
Gary.
can show you this right now.
What you're telling me is
But you
that the
don't
sun,
prove,
you
right?
can draw
You
a
can't
line
prove
from
it.
Sydney going south of Sydney, and you can't.
Yes.
It's
you
a
can.
prediction of the
No,
globe,
you
dude.
can't.
Yes.
No, you
can.
can't.
Yes.
No.
You can. Yes.
I'm sorry. Your line will always be south of east, and as it passes by during the day, it becomes north.
Because you're seeing
Right.
around the corner. Basically,
Because
you're
it
seeing
is
over
north
the
of
surface,
Sydney.
looking
It's
south.
over Capricorn.
But you're seeing south.
Get
Get your globe. Get your
That's
globe
why
and
it
look at
passes
it.
by to your north. That's
can't
why
explain
south
it
of
on the
east
flat
is
Earth.
still north of the. It's still a northern
I can draw this out for you.
latitude that's more north of Sydney or Melbourne.
All right, fuck. I gotta draw
South
this
of
out.
east
There's
is
no
not.
way that he can be this
South.
stupid. He's just a Poe.
South is
He's gotta
180.
No,
South
this
is
is how dumb
180.
he really is.
Really?
South is
Wow, that
180.
is a
East is
He gets
90.
drowned in the rain?
Flat. You're thinking flat. You're not thinking three-dimensionally over the globe, Gary. That's your problem.
No, I'm thinking three-dimensionally over the globe.
No, you're not.
Even
No,
with
you're
your globe, the sun is never going to be south
will
of
be.
Sydney or Melbourne in your sky.
Yes, it will be.
No, it won't be.
Yes, it will be.
No,
Gary,
it won't
Gary,
be.
Just do the experiment. Do it yourself. Get the light bulb in the
Hey,
middle. and
I've
your
done this
globe,
many
and your
times already.
partners.
Get your ass to Australia in the summertime and tell me it's not real.
Yep. Yeah.
I would still tell you the same thing. Listen, when the sun sets to my northwest, right? It's not north of me.
It is.
It's to my. It's north of my west.
Oh, wait, so hold on.
Like,
So
this
wait a
is
minute.
just north of me.
Wait a minute. You
It'll
see
get
it?
to three-
Where
it'll
you
get to
see
about
it's not where
31
you see it?
degrees. Which where is north to me? Due north is what? 360.
You're thinking flat again.
No, it's that way in your globe.
No. It's not.
And,
It's
and
actually
the flat, as far as that goes.
In fact, that one actually works badly on the AE map.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It works perfectly.
But the
sun,
opposite.
everything, literally everything is circling around a center in the north, and that would
No,
be
it's
Polaris.
not. Again,
yes.
you cannot
If you look up
explain
at your map, that's why
from
you get
Sydney, you cannot
you get all
explain-
these the clock and Prague and all that kind of stuff. They all show stars and moons and suns circling in circles around a center point.
Oh, because the guys in
The planisphere. Have you seen a planisphere? You can get the app. It shows the sun. You know how I can prove to you that the sun or that the stars are circling Polaris?
Here.
Take the bottom two stars, follow a line with them, and they'll take you to Orion, right near Orion's belt. And so they're obviously turning a circle, and obviously that means everything else is turning a circle.
So how's that work in the
with
southern
it,
hemisphere?
equally
Where I
with
see
it.
different stars rotating in the opposite direction on a point that doesn't include Polaris.
You don't. They're gonna come late.
Yeah, we hear you. I hear you well. I
So,
guess everybody should hear you.
Did I hear Gary say that the stars in the south don't rotate?
No, I said they're all rotating in a circle around Polaris. That's why you can take the Big Dipper. I got the Big Dipper. I see it clear all the time because
Only rotate around Polaris.
as far as I can see, there's I'm not sure what they're called, but they look like a triangle, and
He
they're a
never-
little bit more east of the.
I had him muted. I muted again so I can say my piece, and he couldn't hear anything because he never stopped talking.
Okay.
Try again.
So, Gary, I'm asking him a question, but I know he's going to go on a long freaking monologue, but why would you say that the stars only rotate around Polaris when I've literally filmed them looking south, rotating around another point? And I highly doubt
they're
it.
not because you don't understand what you're looking at, and you're taking a 2D picture of stars that doesn't show dimension or depth. Literally, you're the way you hold the camera when you take a time lapse of the stars.
Let me go ahead and post the picture for you. Let me go ahead and post the GIF for you that I've pointed my camera south and see them rotating around another point.
They're not rotating around another point.
I love the fact that this. I love the fact
No,
that
you're
Gary-
taking a 2D, just like the stars. If you take them to the north, it looks like a vertical. It looks like a vertical Ferris wheel in your star trail pictures,
Gary,
right?
Have you ever
It
done
looks
it?
like they're going straight up and down, right?
Have you ever
Does it?
tried it, Gary? Have you ever tried it?
I've seen plenty of them.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, if you take a star trail picture to the north, video, time lapse, it looks like it's a vertical wheel, huh?
No, it doesn't look like a
In your
vertical.
picture,
What are
it
you talking
does.
about?
I said
What are you
point
talking about,
north.
Gary?
Point north, do your time lapse of the stars, and does it look like it's turning like a vertical Ferris wheel up and down?
That way, sure,
That's
but it
what all
does
the
the same thing in
pictures
the
look like.
south. It does the same thing in the south,
but
Gary.
does it look like it? That's what I want you to acknowledge.
It does this. It does the same thing in the south.
I know, I understand that, and I'm getting.
All
That's
right,
why I'm
then
getting to the point. I
what
want
are
you
you
to
saying?
acknowledge.
What are you saying?
I
man?
want you to acknowledge that it looks like a vertical Ferris wheel when you take a a time lapse star
Gary.
trail. Does
And
it look
looks
vertical?
the same exact way in the south.
Does it look vertical?
Yes, it looks both. It looks like both when you turn both
That
ways.
are
So
closer
how
to
does
you,
that
higher
work?
in the sky, but closer to you, and the stars farther away would be lower on the horizon, correct?
And they do the
But
same
the
thing in the
star
south
trail
for people that
picture
look in the south. Why are you wait? Why are you ignoring that part, Gary?
So
Why are you
that
ignoring
everything
that
is virtually straight up and down from each other.
Why,
and that's
why
not
are you
how we see
ignoring
the
the
sky.
part where I say? Why are you ignoring the part where I say in the south it does the same thing?
Because you have to lie to Flurf.
No, I was muted, so I couldn't respond.
I had to do it, Gary, because you
Yeah,
never
yeah.
stop, and I want to hear the
I'm gonna
questions,
just
man.
leave.
The audience want to hear
Because I was
back and forward,
explaining
bro.
it, he doesn't want to listen.
The audience
I'm
want to hear
listening.
back and forward.
It looks the same in whether you face.
The audience want to hear the people ask the question and make the points. That's why I had to do it, Gary. Now he left. He rage quit. He doesn't like people to be heard. He always have to talk and interrupt people every single time. I'm sorry. I mean, it's what it is. It's fucking annoying, bro.
I mean, literally to ignore the part where you look south and see the same exact thing. I mean, come on, Gary. Obviously. everyone on Earth in the south can see the stars rotate around another fixed point in the south. You can't just ignore that and say, "Well, I only see it in this." All the stars are rotating around Polaris, which is clearly a lie.
All the people on the south are shields, you know, or fake or CGI.
That's unfortunate, man. But it was no, dude. It was a great show. That was anyway. That was perfect timing because I need to run. So I got a few minutes. Let's do a round of final thoughts, and let's get out of here. Chike, final thoughts, brother.
Yeah, if you can just pull my screen back.
Yep.
Barry said we can't explain looking south and see the sun that's on above Capricorn, and can see easily people in Australia looking south to the west and still looking at Capricorn to where the sun is, above where the sun is. Gary can't do it on flat Earth, though.
All right. Thank you, Shike. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for coming. Final thoughts. Shout out to Car K is here. Shout out to Komar. Komar, final thoughts? Earth is live. Final thoughts, man.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. This is a question to Gary for my final thoughts. Put a merry-go-round in a room, and let's spin that merry-go-round as we're sitting on it, and let's look up. Yes, we're gonna see a rotation in the ceiling. But where is the other rotation at? I don't think we'd be able to see it.
Yep.
That's my final thought.
Very much, man. Carnivore, shout out for being here. You want to give some final thoughts? Thank you for coming. Lubo in China.
Yeah, interesting debate with Gary. Well, I would suggest Gary, but I don't think he's going to do it because he's very dishonest and he will not do it. Just do it himself. I don't think he has money or will to go to Austria to observe it himself. So at least do something he can do at home, get a globe and a light bulb and see how it works on the globe. And then do the same with the flat Earth and model. I don't know where he wants to put his sun in the rotation. Just test what works and what doesn't work. And he will find out that it will never work on a flat Earth. I just wish he would be really honest to himself. Okay, that's all. Anyway, good show today. I really enjoyed.
Thank you very much. Carnivore say, I'm just dumbfounded by Gary. Nice show today, though. Appreciate it. Mr. Victory, final thoughts is, thanks to No Thanks for bringing nothing again. And thanks to Gary for bringing the cow shit. Thank you very much, Mr. Victory. M. Stone, final thoughts?
Again, I think we shouldn't be debating these people anymore or giving them that kind of attention. They should be mercilessly mocked and studied for scientific reasons.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Let's give Gary the opportunity for final thoughts.
Yes. Okay. When stars are directly overhead, they're high in the sky. Stars that are on any direction from you, the farther they are from you, the lower they are in the sky. Now in the star trail pictures, you get a 2D effect of the looks like the high stars are vertical over the top of the far stars. That's why they look like Ferris wheels, and that's not what we actually see in reality if you just pay attention with your eyes to the sky.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Moyok Man, final thoughts. Nestle Wipes, final thoughts. Moyok.
Moyok?
Yep, Moyok.
I thought I just answered.
Final thoughts, man. I didn't hear you.
Okay. Okay. Well, Gary, that was the biggest pile of horse shit I've heard in a long time. That's all I have to say.
Very good. Thank you for coming. Thank you, M. Stone. Thank you, Lubo. Thank you, Snesley and Tinkerfield. You got any final thoughts? I see your mic came off mute, but there's no sound. Now, are the stars over Gary's head or are the stars overhead of Gary? Cha cha cha. That is the question. Are they over his head or just overhead?
Both.
Tomorrow. Go ahead.
Both.
I was just going to say that I joined really late, so I didn't have anything today.
Thank you for coming in, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, everybody who supported the channel in money-wise. And thank you, everybody, for supporting the channel on coming in and jumping in the chat box and hitting the like button. And thank you to those who come back to the video when it's up on YouTube and render and leave comment in the comment section. It's always nice to read you guys. There was a few nice comments yesterday. Appreciate it. Tomorrow is my birthday. Whoop, whoop. I'll be 48 years young. Feeling good, feeling strong, feeling healthy still. Knock on wood.
We're here already. Happy birthday.
Robot, Mr. Robot. Thank you, Mr. Robot. It's tomorrow's birthday. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, click on all the buttons, of all sorts. I'm sorry, Lubo, I talk about this. I cannot understand you. You're roboting. I'm out of here. Peace, everybody. I'm on level 48. I'm hoping to make it to level 100. Jose, JG out. Boom. Let's do the squeaky art. Whee!
You forgot. You forgot the poll.
It's over, man.
You forgot the poll.
Yeah, I forgot the poll, but it's over. I already wrap up the show. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the end.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Gary, you
I
still
can hear
here?
you now. It's offline, but I can hear you. Tell me, Lubo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
still
just
here.
telling you that,
Hold on,
that
guys.
it's already your birthday in China.
Oh, it's
your
already
birthday
March
in China
15.
already, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in here. It was
Fuck
still
yeah,
like
man.
happy
Thank you very
birthday.
much.
So I was saying.
Big deal.
Thank you very
It's
much,
it's
man. I
it's
appreciate
March 15 in Israel too.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Gary, is Gary still here?
Yes.
Mr. Gary, do you agree that the sun follows a circuit around the Earth about 360 degrees at the tropics?
It always is 360 degrees going around in a circle.
Okay. So if and that's relative to time. Usually, it's like at a specific place at a given time. Based on the season. So if it was 16 hours of daylight, or in the case of I think 17 hours in Chile, the sun should be way over on the other side of the Earth, about 270 degrees. And way north of me, it should be coming back to almost due north. And I see it rise in the south. You understand that?
During that time of year.
So you can't think beyond when you look at it because you wake up late. Okay, I see. That's honesty for you.
I can't
Cool.
what?
You said you can't see it.
Not until
We're
later in the
discussing
morning.
a concept.
Sunrise in my winter is way later than sunrise in my summer.
Who said winter?
You did. You said when it's far south. That's my
It's
winter.
impossible. It's impossible to talk to you.
No,
You just can't give an honest. You can't do an honest analysis of information.
well, you said winter when it's and you said far south. That's my winter. It's far south. So the sun, because it's farther out in the circle, will rise later because it's farther away, and it'll come up. It'll cross my entire sky in about a little less than 10 hours from the east to the west. Is that 100? How does that work with your 180 degrees in that sense?
I think the thing that's getting me here is I was not talking
So is it
about the north.
180
I was
degrees
talking
from
about
one
the south.
horizon to a horizon?
We've been talking about the south the whole time, and you keep on
Is
throwing
it
in the north
100?
for some reason
And
because you're not
I
an
talk
honest
about it as the
interrogator.
south. I talk now. Is my field of view from the east to the west? Is that 180 degrees?
We are discussing the southern hemisphere. I don't give a fuck about your field of view.
Okay, well then, if you don't give a shit, then I'm not talking
No,
to you.
fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Because we're talking about the south, and you keep trying to change it to some stupid
You
thing.
could try to use a
like
little
changing the
nicer word,
season
but
and
you don't have
stuff.
to use that kind of word. Jose doesn't like
No,
the F
fuck,
word.
fuck, 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 fuck.
Okay, well,
Fucking
I'm sorry,
Jesus
that's your
Christ, go
language.
fucking
You got
suck
a
a
gutter
cock.
mouth, okay? You got a gutter mouth.
So rather than addressing the concept, you just go off into your little tirades and your little sidebars into, I don't see that from where I am. We're talking about what people in the South see. Now, you could argue, and you could even treat that as undetermined yet, but you could treat it as the arguments that are claimed in the South. And now you have to explain how the sun at when it's due north, when the sun is almost due north, somewhere about like
it's not south.
It's not. No, it's actually over on the north side of the Earth, as far as going around the Tropic of Cancer. When you look at it from the south in summer at sunrise and sunset.
Winter, and when the sun was far south.
No, I'm not talking about the winter. How many times do I have to tell you I'm not talking about the winter, you fucking cuck?
Okay. I'm not talking to an ass like you. You're a little baby.
Okay, somebody else talk to this asshole.
Why would we want to?
That's true.
You know, it's easy
Totally
to talk
dishonest.
like that when you're online. It's easy to talk like that. You would not talk like that to my face, I guarantee
I would
you.
talk to your face like that.
Well,
I'd
then
be
you
so
would lose
frustrated
your
with you,
teeth.
I would kick your
I'm
ass.
a very nice person normally, but you would lose your teeth if you yelled at my face like that.
You think you'd knock my teeth out?
I would. I definitely would. I know I would.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's easy to cuss and chew and say stuff like that when you're online. You don't do that in person. I don't even say stuff like that online.
So Gary, would you make a video?
Did you ever see this video of this guy, Gary? He's this really tiny guy. He goes up to Austin. I don't know if you know who Austin is. He goes up to Austin on the streets and almost gets embarrassed, like smacked around. He's like as tall as his. Yeah, it was really funny.
Do we watch this?
No.
You know it's on
Gary,
video, right?
Gary, would you do us a favor and do a video with?
I mean, you're aware it's on video. We can go watch this, right?
I'm sorry,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Can go south to watch it. But I don't think he will. He's a very dishonest person. Gary, you're a very dishonest person because you know what we are talking about. You know we are right, but you don't admit that we are right. You can do the same experiment.
Gary just really wants to ignore it. That's the problem.
Holy shit, B-boy, your mic is always so bad, bro.
Yeah, I'm in the field right now. That's why I'm in South Korea, so it's my mic should be bad.
Yeah.
Why should your mic be bad in North Korea or South Korea?
I've never seen such a dishonest person in my life. No morals at all.
Can you hear me?
My mic is bad because I am in the middle of the field in South Korea using Bluetooth headphones.
Nice.
So the field is irrelevant. It's the Bluetooth headphones.
Well, also I'm not on 5G. I'm on the connection isn't that great here.
Well, I will agree with you that Bluetooth isn't the best. Because I use Bluetooth and I know it's not the best.
No,
I think every time Banga talks, you should misunderstand him and use give him the wrong answers to questions you have.
It's not the Bluetooth. It's how much you're willing to pay for it.
No, these are pretty top of the line Bluetooth headphones.
Apparently not.
I mean, they're the Samsung